that if you guys make it at least even just halfway through this video, you're going to change something within your business. I can almost 100% tell you that. Now, we're going to go through most things personal brand today, which I didn't really know what I was doing for the first few years. That sounds really weird to say it, but all of us are going to be building something in person. We might not even know it or not. And that thing is going to enable us to sell, to get people to trust us, to get people to use our services online. The majority of you will probably be personal trainers. There'll be some of you in similar fields, maybe physio, accountants, whatever. Now, there is quite a few bits to get through. I'm going to make this as interesting as possible, and we're going to be interactive. You guys get to ask me questions. You can challenge me. You can argue with me, whatever you want. I'm here for it. Now, usually at these events, I show people 3 photos to help them feel a bit better. First things first would be an image here of where I used to stand in front of a sheet of paper on the wall with a DSLR camera. I used to be in my underwear and I used to just shoot content there. So although right now I'm on this nice setup, just understand there was a time that I was in my budgie smugglers and I was just going live, recording content, scribbling on the wall, and it was fine. It helped grow my business. The second is of a graph where I can't help but stress this to people, but for many years, absolutely nothing happened within my business. So 2014, 2015, 2016, there was no growth. If you'd met me back in the day and you'd sat next to me in Waitrose and you'd said, hey mate, what are you doing? And I say, yeah, I post on social media every single day. Oh, you got any clients from it? No. Has it benefited your business? No. You would have thought I was mental for so long. And it took me 3 years of posting every day on social media for things to quote unquote take off. And the very last one is just showing you my Instagram when it had 14,000 followers. Don't know if the autofocus is going to get that. But there was a time that, just like you, I had a small account. And when I got to 14,000, I thought I'd made it. I was like, oh my God, this is God tier. How am I going to move in the street without people going, oh, that's that personal trainer from Fitness First? So straight off the bat, you don't need to have a big account. You don't need to have, any crazy following, crazy technical setup, any of those things. You just need to have a good attitude. Now, I've been on these webinars. I've been to the business events. I know what it's like to sit there and learn. And I'll be honest, a few things we're going to talk about, you already know. But you need to be reminded sometimes more than you need to be taught. I even have that at this level where I go back and watch old things that I've learned. And when I listen to something that's said, even years after learning it, something can click. So the first thing we're going to look at, personal brand, to me, is where information meets personality. Now, that's a pretty basic thing to say. With content, some of us are kind of a bit caught up. Do we need to be some persona online or do we need to give people information? So I want you to think about a spectrum, not a spectrum like me with ADHD and Chris with autism, a spectrum that let's say we got brand on one side and we got information on the other. Now the information side of things, we need to give people what they need to know. And that's often going to be in the form of problem solving. So if you're a mortgage broker, you are solving the problem of helping people understand interest rates, understanding whether or not they should pay off their mortgage early, helping them with the problem that they have wondering what is an affordable house, helping them with all of those things. As a personal trainer, your clients have all got problems, physios, problems, etc. There is information that solves problems. It is your job to give them that information. Now, sometimes we can get caught up with this theory that we need to be so much more intelligent or ahead of the people that we work with. And I disagree. So for instance, I only think you need to be 25% smarter than the people that you work with. And the reason that I say this is, think about this video that you're on right now. There are people that know way more about brand and business than me. Take into a case in point, Daniel Priestley, Dan Martell, Alex Hormozy. But the problem is, they are too much smarter. So imagine this. Alex Hormozy, hundreds of millions. Dan Martell, hundreds of millions. Daniel Priestley, hundreds of millions. Because they're so far ahead, sometimes it's actually more difficult to learn from them than someone in my own space. So even though I'm not quad centi-millionaire or anything like that, I'm actually only a few years ahead of you. So actually me being a bit closer to you is going to help me teach you stuff because I'm not that much smarter. Same way that in jiu-jitsu, for instance, when I was a white belt and a blue belt, I would learn more from a purple belt than I would a black belt. Because a black belt has already mastered so much of jiu-jitsu that they actually struggle to understand white belt problems. They actually struggle to be in the shoes of someone that they haven't been for 10 years. That could be the same reason that you might not vibe with Hormozy, Martel, Priestley, whatever. Because they haven't been in your shoes for such a long period of time, they're actually better off helping millionaires, and then the millionaires be better off helping people that have just started a business. So don't think you need to be miles ahead of people, because actually the further you get ahead of people, the harder you're going to relate to their problems, because it's been so long since you've had those problems. So don't think you need a PhD. Actually, in fact, where I see that people try and become too smart in a field, they alienate their audience because their audience just can't relate to it. Now, some of you are going to be stuck in a roadblock of thinking all the information that people need is online. Correct. But that is just something you've made up in your head. Because for years I've been posting on social media content, put things out. Sometimes I'll repost something or I'll rehash an old video that did well. And there'll just need to be one comment of someone that says, followed you for years, thought I understood this. This video just made it so much easier to understand. Those little nuggets are what you're searching for. You're not looking to show so many people that something is true for the first time. You are trying to take that information available on the internet and make it understandable for people. If I'm honest, back in the day, I used to walk back from Fitness First when I finished my session with my little wide headphones, and I'd put on an evidence-based podcast about a subject, whether it was caffeine, whether it was about blood flow restriction training, and I would sit through an hour of bullshit to get home and talk about it for 3 minutes. In my head, it was about condensing that information online and making it better. I would listen to a Ben Kuma podcast that was 3 hours. There was only 3 good points on it, so I'd come home and make a podcast. I studied MNU under Martin McDonald. The motherfucker was from a university background where he would talk about, at uni, you get an hour for a lecture. So if you've got a topic that's 10 minutes, they drag it over an hour. So I would listen to these modules that were an hour long. I would finish it and go, you could explain that in 3 minutes. And I was like, all right, go on. So sometimes it's about taking that information that's already there, making it more interesting and condensing it. For me as well, when I looked around, we had like Mark Coles, Ben Kuma, Jay Alderton, all of these people. And I thought to myself, I'm never going to be smarter. I'm never going to be more shredded. I'm never going to be in better shape. But fuck me, I could make this more interesting. So sometimes you don't, because to get smarter than someone's going to take years. To get better than someone's going to take years. To get more interesting or to get it across in a way that people can understand, you can do that in a few months. There's going to be something that I call the aha moment, where you do a bit of content or you see a bit of content and you have this aha moment. So for instance, Ben Yanes, there's a guy from New York, he's got a content account. I've been a PT for what? Over 10 years. And he did a video the other week explaining why is it on some pulleys that you can go to a half stack and do tricep extensions fine. You can do tricep extensions, not a problem. But then you go to another rack and you go halfway down it, you can't even move. And he broke down that there's a pulley system in there that you have single pulleys, double pulleys, triple pulleys, and actually you divide the weight by the amount. I never knew that. I just thought different mechanical systems, whatever. In that moment, watching that Ben Yanes bit of content, aha, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my God, that's insane. So there was another one I watched back in the day that said that a Romanian deadlift didn't have to touch the floor. That's your aha moment. With your content, you are trying to say to people, bang, I never even thought that before. Another thing that you tell people in content now is not to leave your call to action to the end of a video. For instance, we're only 8 minutes in and you might notice that in the link in the description, there's an offer, which is actually so flipping outrageous. I'm actually a little bit pissed off about it because I'll give you 30 seconds of this. My business mentorship is me. I've got a guy called Cam helping me in the Discord, but the other fuckers behind the scenes, they're like, yeah, discount it. I'm like, you ain't got to do the work, brother. So they keep giving me all these codes, and that is a lower price than I agreed to. So there's another aha moment that if we look at a retention graph, even of this live, most people would have left by the end because I'll just be here ranting about stuff. So get your call to actions in more frequently. So we have the aha moment, but we cannot get that conflated with the dinner table genius. This is another concept. I've trademarked it. Don't even think about trying to steal it. Aha moment is where someone goes, oh, never thought of that before. Quite smart. The dinner table genius is where you are going to have an opportunity to educate someone on something that people think is wrong. And at dinner table, one day, they're going to kick off. So Coke Zero was a fantastic one. And for a start, if you think Pepsi Max is better than Coke Zero, don't take that offer because we're not going to get on. We are not closely aligned as you may think we are. So you could say, right, you see Menno Henselman's post, or you watch one of my videos, or you read my book, whatever. Which one? The #1 bestseller. Which one? Oh, you've got me. So Menno Henselman said that, you know, if we look at aspartame inside Coke Zero, it's broken down into aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methanol. God, look at the memory on the kid. That's the autism. So you break down those things into that, and then you say, if you were a rat, maybe you should be worried about it. If not, you might have to consume over 100 cans a day. Now, that's cool, and it's good to have that amount of information. However, the time it gets magical is when you're sat at the dinner table and someone's aunt goes, oh, you know that Coke Zero can give you cancer, and you're like, you've been waiting for this moment. You're like, is that your aunt, is it? She's about to fucking get it. Not like that. Oi, shut up. You give her the facts. You go, listen, Trish, did you actually know it's broken down into phenylalanine, ethanol, methanol, not ethanol, and broken into aspartic acid. There's more of that in tomato juice, there's more than that in a bit of red meat, and there's more than that in a fucking couple of fried eggs. So how about you shut your mouth, you slag? Now that is where you get to be the dinner table genius. And if anyone wants to, dispute that with you, that's fine. So the dinner table genius is about educating people to give them the understanding and the knowledge that should you get challenged at the dinner table or anywhere else, you can give them the information to not just have them know it, but have them flip it on its head and shut Trish the hell up. So when I say it's not always like, groundbreaking stuff, we are trying to arm people with knowledge, because the second you tell Trish to shut the fuck up, she's going to go, that guy online that I learned it from, what a legend. So content isn't just about educating. It's not just about reminding, it's about arming people with the information that they need. The next thing to think about is, but that video has been done before. We had a guy in my mentorship called Michael Doherty, and I'm not gonna lie to you, his content was going a bit stagnant for a week. He wasn't getting the views he wanted. So I gave him the little, in Batman at the end where they get the little nod. I said, mate, do the Coke Zero video. Now, he didn't just do the Coke Zero video, he did it better than anyone else. He did it with visual props and cues, and he used Post-it notes, and he smashed it. He absolutely smashed it. He got himself, I think, 50,000 followers from that reel alone. And since then, that's given him not just the confidence, but it's given him aura. Now, you don't need permission to copy people's stuff. Everything you see here is copied. This setup in here is copied from Chris Williamson's pod setup. Got the hair light in the same place, got the same camera. I stole this mic from seeing it on another pod. We are taking inspiration from other people. We call it standing on the shoulders of giants, but actually we're calling it, that fucking worked, I'm gonna do it. Now, if you look at Formula One over the years, one team implements something and it works, all the other teams copy it. This is how life works. So when you see something that's working well, don't just do it better. Do you think Newtonic was the world's first productivity drink? Of course it wasn't, but we're gonna do it better. Black Friday, 21% off. Okay, so that's the segment we've got for information on one side. Information. But now we need brand. Where the hell is the brand going to come into that? So first of all, you're going to have your approach and your similarities. So there are going to be some things you're similar to other people, but your approach might be different. For instance, I swear to God, when I was personal training people, sometimes I'd say, put the fucking weight down, come with me. We used to have a whiteboard in the PT room, and I would map things out. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats. So when I got to content, I very much just flipped the exact same thing that I was doing with clients on its head. Now, I would be humorous with my clients in person, so I took that online. I wasn't trying to be something that I wasn't. Now, we all have idiosyncrasies which make us unique to ourselves. For instance, Sean Casey has the personality of two thick planks of wood, but it works. Adam Sullivan is a Eshe chav, but it works. Now, Adam Sullivan isn't trying, cunnies, he's not trying to be something that he's not. He's actually trying to just be himself. And it's working. It's giving him a cult-based audience. Sean Casey isn't just trying to be dry and have no personality. He's just being himself. So because of that, you must stick in the lane you are and not try and be someone else, because they'll figure it out. And we all have an educational style. We all have something. For me, it's high energy, loads of caffeine. As you can see, I already had 2 coffees before I got here this morning. And it's about bringing the energy to the person, because a lot of you actually just need to be G-upped. When I do these events in person, people don't leave going, oh my God, I learned so many. Some do, but most people go, fucking hell, I'm getting started on YouTube. And that's part of my brand. It's not part of the information, it's part of my brand. We then have things like personal life. Do you have a family? Do you have kids? Do you train jiu-jitsu? What struggles are you going through? We'll get into email marketing in a bit, but having things as part of your brand, where I did an email the other day about the fact that I give my kid nappy free time before he has a bath, and he decided to shit on the floor and he was playing with the shit. I had to pick up my shitty son, run to the bath, get him in the bath, give him a wash down. Then my missus comes down and says to me, did you clean up the poo? My dog ate it, right? Email, boom. So I'm using things from my personal life as part of my brand, and we can get into more of that. The relatability aspect of that is pretty huge as well, because if people can relate to that and go, oh my God, that's the exact type of thing my dog or my son would do, you're going to bring yourselves closer. And having those things in common are key, and I'll explain why. You may not have ever realized this, but let's say you drive a Volkswagen Golf, you are more likely to let Volkswagen Golfs out at junctions because you feel connected to them because of similarity. Have you ever noticed that when you go on holiday, right, you're in Tenerife, or maybe some of you, I don't know, Benidorm, knowing what you're like, but you're in Tenerife, you're next to someone on the beach, the accent sounds a bit familiar. You go, where are you from? They go, oh, we're from Berkshire. Mum, they're from Berkshire as well. We're from Windsor. Suddenly, you're best mates. You're like, come here, move that sun lounger a bit closer. Trish, you need some... Because you're from the same place. When you have things and similarities to other people, you're automatically already friends. Like me, Porsche 911, see another guy, give them the little nod. Similarities are massive. So in your personal brand, this is information, this is brand, you can get things over about yourself and people can relate to it. You're going to do well. I was the first person that was like, I started calling people the C word on, why am I calling it? Started calling people cunts, right? Call people cunts. Most people, but some people are like, oh my God, I love that word. Cool. Relatability, similarity, brand. And this helps people trust you, because if you're showing those vulnerable parts of your life, if you're showing the issues and the problems that you're having, that helps build trust. We're going to get into that in a bit more. But the considerations we need to understand here is, if you give people just too much information, you're ChatGPT. And we don't need that. And if you're too much brand, you're just a vlog. And again, we don't need that. Now, a big misinterpretation is some people go, oh, but Molly May does vlogs. But Molly May actually solves a problem with her vlogs, because I've seen them on my YouTube. You think she's just talking about herself, but she's actually in the education, not lifestyle education, but really she's solving a problem of girls that aspire to be her being bored or curious about what she's doing after her TV debacle. If you start doing vlogs online, as we're going to get into, no one really cares. Because my brand personal golden rule is this: nobody cares about you. And we can say no one cares about you yet, but I just want you to think about this. Some of you, nearly 1,000 of you, are going to be sat there at home and you might be going, James Smith, legend. But you're wrong. And I'll explain why. Because some of you might have followed me for a few weeks, maybe a month, maybe a couple of years, maybe even 10 years. Now, in that time, if we could go back and dissect it and take out every single time I made you laugh, every single time I educated you, every single time I made something very clear for you to understand, if I was to take all those things out and we go back to that 10 years, I'm just a dickhead with a nice car. Because the only reason you feel you like me is because I helped you. If I'd never helped you in those fields, you wouldn't like me. Therefore, if you want people to care about your brand and you want people to care about you and you want people to give you a fist bump in a shopping centre, whatever it is, you need to help them by solving their problems. And if you can, make it fun at the same time. Again, we're not going to get into it just yet, but on YouTube, people are seeking entertainment. They're not seeking education. They want entertainment. Although TED Talks do well, loads of videos do better. So if people want entertainment and education and you combine it together, you're going to do really well. A bit like Matt Armstrong, which we'll talk about in a bit. So for us to fully understand that, let's just look at human behavior for a second. People are self-centered and that is okay. Your clients don't care about you, they care about themselves. Even you right now don't care about me, you care about yourselves, and that's cool. When I promote the Black Friday offer, which is link in the description, which is an outrageous discount, I don't want you to buy that so I get the money. I want you to buy it so it helps you. And with that price point, trust me, it's gonna help you more than it fucking helps me. And the more we can understand about how selfish people are, the better you can sell to them. Even if we think about people that give to charity, people go, yeah, but my mate Dave, he's philanthropic, he gives to charity. Yeah, do you know why Dave does that? Because it makes him feel good, yeah? And when they host their little event and everyone stands up and goes, oh, Dave, thank you for the donation last year. Dave's there for the amount of status he's getting. That's why people don't do anonymous donations. Even if you go on Just Fund Me or whatever it's called, people are there. Yes, 10 grand, enjoy it. Put the name in. People give to charity because it makes them feel good. The only reason you do it, I paid off my mate credit card's debt. I couldn't give a fuck about him. I just wanted to feel good. You know, anything. My mates have £1,000. Why? To help them? I don't care. Made me feel good. And at the end of the day, that's ultimately how humans work. Look at Chris Williamson, for example, right? Some of you watching this are thinking, yeah, really like Chris. You don't. He asks people questions for a living. That's it. That's all he does. He just sits there going, yes. You know, Socrates once said, that's all he does. But you feel like you like him because he solved your problem of education and entertainment. He's entertained you on your long drive with the podcast, and he's helped you with the problem because you've always wanted to know what Bugsy Malone was like in person. At the end of the day, he has built a massive personal brand from asking people questions, and you sit there thinking you like him, and that's great. This is part of the dance. This is what we're doing. You can quite literally just have someone put some questions on an iPad and become one of the world's most loved figures. It is that easy to play this game. You just need to do it right. If you want to help yourself in this world, help others. That's the only selfless thing I've got. Now, these steps get more important the more we move, but I need to set the foundations. Cool. This blue raz is getting me going. Next thing we're going to look at is brand morphization, which I made up. We need to jump the gun a little bit. So for a lot of you out there, you are doing something right now, but I guarantee it will not be this forever. Now, you might have taken over your parents' accountancy firm and you might be doing this forever. But those of you doing personal training, I guarantee in 10 years' time, it's going to be something different. You're going to be running a business, you're going to be looking after something, you're going to branch into something else, which is why we need to realize you are the brand. You are the brand. And I'm telling you this from experience. If we think about brands that we know, we don't think Virgin, we don't think, Apple. We think Stephen Bartlett, great personal brand. Alex Hormozy, great personal brand. Lane Norton, great personal brand. Ed Lawrence, great personal brand. There's a business guy called Charlie Morgan, Joe Wicks, Piers Morgan. These are all personal brands. Even Andrew Tate is a personal brand. So whatever we are talking about, the name is the brand. Because I can already see through some of the chats in the description, some people are leading with their YouTube channel not being them. The business that we operate must sit behind us. And let me use those same examples again. Alex Hormozy isn't school.com or acquisition.com. He's Alex Hormozy. Chris Williamson isn't Modern Wisdom. Even when people watch Modern Wisdom and they go, wow, great podcast, they say, mate, do you listen to that Chris Williamson? Nah, mate, this guy's got a great podcast. You should tune into it. It's Chris that's the brand. Modern Wisdom is just the business. Modern Wisdom is just paying the invoices at the end of the day. Piers Morgan has Piers Morgan Uncensored. Joe Rogan has JRE. Ed Lawrence, Thumbnail University. So it's important that we understand that people sit with the business behind them. Now, I'm going to flex a little bit just for about a minute, but this is important. In 2016, if you'd said to me, James, in a year's time, you're going to have a 7-figure fitness business, I would have literally said, fuck off. No chance. Not happening. Like, if you said you could put a bet on it, I would have bet £1 million it wasn't going to happen. Now, in 2017, if you'd said next year you're going to go on tour and do a UK tour, I would have said fuck off. In 2018, if you were to say in 2019, HarperCollins is going to give you £100,000 for a book, I would have told you to fuck off. In 2019, if you told me the next year that you were going to book Coachella for your mates, they were going to cancel it because of a cold, I would have told you to fuck off. But in 2020, if you told me in 2021, so middle of lockdown, next year you're going to have 1,000 people attend all of your events on your tour, would have told you to fuck off. In 2021, in 2022, you'd said, mate, you're going to be in a long-term relationship, I would have told you to fuck off. In 2022, if you'd have told me that the next year I'm going to be a 3-time #1 best-selling author, wouldn't have believed you. In 2023, right? So I've already got a few things at this point. If you were going to say you're going to start a nootropics business called Newtonic and you're going to sell millions of cans, I would have told you to fuck off. So there are so many times in my life that the very next year would have been utterly unbelievable and indescribable. And the point I'm trying to make is this. There's something called the end of history illusion where we seem to think we're very much set in our ways up into a certain period of time. But it's an illusion because we're wrong. For instance, if you think about the last 10 years, think about how much you've changed in the last 10 years. The only way you can truly gauge how much change is going to come in the next 10 years is to flip that on its head. So every time I get to a point in time, the next year brings things that I never thought were possible. So I'm so glad that I've now brought the brand to James Smith because a few years ago, James Smith was a fitness trainer, Sunday Times, said most in demand PT, whatever. Now, over $20 million valuation drinks business, this mentorship, absolutely crushing. Where am I going to be at next year? I don't know. So chances are none of you on this live stream have any fucking idea where you're going. And that's why we must be prepared with everything I'm about to talk about. For instance, your handle on social media, if you can get your name, get your name. Because if your brand name is fit for you forever, and then you end up opening like a gym or a fucking fitness business, or you go in something else, and you've been front and center for all those years, it's hard to move. I was James Smith PT. I had to pay the guy that had James Smith, right? And I'm not even joking here. So I'm James Smith PT. I find James Smith on Insta. I message him. What is he? A personal trainer. I go, bro, this ain't looking good for you. If your name's Brad Pitt and you're in Hollywood and you've never been in a film before, just give him the fucking handle, bruv. You know what I mean? Give it up. Then he's also from the same county as me. So I was like, look, bro, you might be straggling riding some coattails or whatever. Just give me the handle. So people ultimately in business are going to pay you, not your handle. Some of you think, oh yeah, Evolve You Coaching. I'm like, how many people in the business? Just me. Take the fucking word founder out of your bio then, all right? If you're making $3,000 a month, you're not a founder. All right. So we've got some things there. I'm now going to give it over to you to ask some questions if you have any, or we can move into the next part of it. So that's the personal brand segment of the conversation to make things easy. And yeah, I'm just asking. My manager here is watching the questions to make sure, and he's moaning about I've got aircon on. And Luke, I need this aircon on because we're going to get sweaty. All right. Mihai Cyprian 01 saying it's not live. So you think this is some kind of pre-recorded production? How about you go fuck yourself, you little small dick pecker cockhead? How's that? We're fucking live. All right, we're going to move into the next part because either there weren't enough questions or, yeah. Okay, this bit is very, very, very important. We'll get into those questions in a second. There obviously weren't enough, or my manager is just sleeping. Or just spending my money. That's what he likes to do best. Oh, 20%. Is it really? Is it really? That's what I say. Gross or rev, still don't know. So there's something here that's going to depress you, but at the same time, it's going to make you feel so much better about everything that you're doing. Right. I call this the pyramid attribution. And you can tell I just make things up randomly with names. That's the autism. So I want you to imagine right in front of us here is a big pyramid. And this pyramid represents our audience, okay? In that audience, not many people are going to buy your shit. So let's say here's the pyramid, all right? 90% of that pyramid will never buy your shit. Never will, never have. And only the top couple percent will be clients. Now, we seem to think, oh, I would love to have 10% of my audience do it. Never going to happen. I'd love 50%, never going to happen. If you can get 5% of your audience to do business with you, you are flying, mate. You are fucking, doing pretty well. The reality is 1 to 2% of your audience will ever buy anything in the next 10 years. And that's okay, right? And you might think, why the hell are we bothering with all of these scumbags beneath? If we just need this top 2%, what are we doing with those 98%? And something that no one's ever told you is we need those people algorithmically, okay? So as of this point, let's imagine my business mentorship. We probably sold like 3,000 people into the mentorship, but my following is 40,000 on Instagram. It's coming up to 50,000 on YouTube. And there's part of me that sometimes wakes up and goes, oh, you fucking dickheads. Those the 47,000 aren't paying me money. And that could get depressing. That's a stadium of people that go, we're going to watch your shit and never buy from you. And that could make your heart rate go up. But actually, imagine this. We need the people that don't buy from us so that they can watch our content so it can be scored well enough that the algorithm can push it out. I'm going to explain that one more time. All of those people that never buy the thing we're selling, if they watch our content to the end and they enjoy it and they give it a double tap, they are sending signals to all the different social media platforms. And if those signals are positive, the platform's going to go, this piece of content isn't shit, and it's going to push it further and wider. And when it goes further and wider, it's then going to be seen by people who potentially will buy our stuff. We need to ride the coattails of those 98% of people that are never going to buy our shit. So although you might have a niche, pretty niche, there is a time and a place for content, and there is a time and a place to love and adore and respect the people that never buy your stuff. And this is the principle I want to get into your head. I want you to be in the shops one day, right? If you're in Australia, in Woolies, in Coles, you've done something wrong in your life, or you're in the UK, you're in Waitrose, right? You're in Waitrose. I want someone to come up to you, and they're going to give you a fist bump. And they're going to go, mate, love your stuff, completely changed the way I see everything, you've changed my life. And then just before you think, what an amazing interaction, they're going to go, never bought anything that you're selling, never bought a thing, never come to an event, never bought a book, but your content's changed my life. There could have been a time in my life that I would have had that interaction and gone, they never bought from me. But now, understanding the pyramid attribution, I go, do you know what? You're a fucking legend because I need that person to do what they're doing so that other people can buy. Even right now on this webinar, if you all bought the offer in the description, I'd be fucked. I'd have to hire people. I actually need 95% of you to not buy that. Otherwise, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and have a heart attack. So there is just as much gratitude that you need to have for paid clients as there is for the people that never buy your shit. And I don't think anyone's saying that online. No one is saying to you, hey, the majority of people that didn't buy your stuff today are doing you a service and they are making your life easier. And it is only through having this attitude where you truly respect and admire the people that never buy your stuff that you can build a strong personal brand. Because there's so many people you can help for free. And let's not look over the fact that even if you help someone for free, if you're a personal trainer and you're prospecting in the gym, if you go over to someone and you help them with something, you don't ask for anything in return. Let's say there's a strong, able man in the gym. I know they're not going to hire me as a PT. I just know they're not. So I go over, I go, hey mate, what do you do? Oh, I play rugby. I go away, I look up some S&C stuff. The next time I see that big guy, I go, hey bro, here's a few things that they're using in professional rugby that you might not have thought about before. Then he's waiting for the sales pitch, I leave. He's going to go home and his missus or his auntie or his cousin's going to go, I really need to get a personal trainer. He goes, do you know what? There's a really switched on blonde lad in that gym. He gave me some techniques the other day, great. So when these people that in your pyramid attribution don't buy your stuff, further down the line, they are going to bring you business. They are going to say, oh my God, have you tried that guy's drinks? They're amazing. It's 21% off Black Friday. There are so many ways you can think about this. I personally refund everyone from Newtonic from my own Monzo account because I know this. There's a lady called Jane, she buys a flavour in Northumbria, and she goes, James, don't like the taste. And I go, look, I'm not only going to refund you, I'm going to offer you money to have your fucking taste buds checked, but I didn't say that. In the email, I go, look, thank you so much for buying Newtonic. I don't need you to return the cans. I refunded you in full from my personal account. Please do me a favour and give them to your friends. The approach there is someone who was a customer and now isn't a customer. If you treat them right, they can then go away and they can give the case to their friend and go, hey, look, not for me, you might like them. There is so much work that can be done for people that don't buy your stuff. That's the point I'm making. The law of reciprocity, you give, people are going to feel compelled to come back. So some of you are thinking, right, so I've got that pyramid attribution. What if I need to make more money? Yes, you can try and go from 1% to 2%, but honestly, grow the whole pyramid. If you're at 5,000 followers and you've got 1,000 on your email list, if you go to 10,000 followers and 2,000 on your email list, I can guarantee your business will nearly double with it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is taking an in-person brand online. So for the majority of you, there is a world you can go online. When I first became a PT, people looked at me like, what do you mean you PT online? It was like saying I was an online plumber. The first thing we need to look at is being too niche is too stupid, right? So many people out there are like, I work with left-handed lesbians, lose fat. What? Or even some of you are like, yeah, I work with 30 to 45-year-old high-performing men. You're like, no, you don't. Because if some millionaire 24-year-old wanted to work with you, you'd work with him. If Jeff Bezos wanted to work with you, you'd work with him. So the age thing, you're full of shit. And what is a high-performing male? Is a bricklayer a high-performing male? Probably not, but he might have more disposable income than other people. We can see what you're doing. Hey, lesbians, if you're looking to lose fat, stop it. You're a dickhead. Again, another problem that I have here is that although I could rate Alex Hormozy in a lot of ways, he's richer than me, he's more jacked than me, apparently he's on smaller dose of test, of course he is. He's like, yeah, niche. You got a niche, mate. You got a niche. Alex Hormozy, are you fucking mental? You just grew your socials 300 posts a week to millions of people. You just sold 2.7 fucking million books to everyone. You're talking about niching. Alex Hormozy is the king of anti-niching. Alex Hormozy, if anything, is the least niched person ever. The guy went so mass market that he's attracting fucking 14-year-old kids and 62-year-old fucking people running funeral homes, and he's going to lecture you about going niche. You fucking hypocrite, jacked dickhead with an exceptional hairline. So that niche thing is bollocks. And all the people spouting go niche don't fucking niche. For me, my mission statement is I help small businesses make money online using social media. What's a small business? I don't fucking know. I just don't want someone to come, yeah, I've got $1 billion tech company, can you help? Obviously not. Grow, or make more money. What's make more money? Fucking just make more money. You can go from 10K a month to 100K. You can go from 1K to 2K. I don't care. Using social media. What's social media? I don't care. If someone reads that mission statement and goes, yeah, sweet, sounds right, get in. But if they don't want to make money online, they don't want to use social media, and they don't have a business, they're going to read that mission statement and go, it's not for me. You know what I mean? Another question people have is whether or not you use social media. You don't have to. But if you look around right now in the world, in Ireland and in Dubai, when you cross the road, they've got the colours, like the red light, green light, on the fucking floor, brother. So if you're fucking crossing the road, they know people are like this. You know, people are just like this the whole time. So now that they put fucking green and red lights on the floor so you don't get hit by traffic, take a hint. There are signals in the market, right? People can't even look up to save their fucking life. So if people are on social media that much, don't invest in billboards, invest in social media. So another consideration is getting people's attention on social media is the easiest it's ever been. It just takes one video to really change your life. One video pops off, and the one video kicking off isn't always that you get business from that video. Sometimes you just put in the grind. Then when that one video pops off, it doesn't just give you confidence, right? It gives people like aura. And I know aura is such a cheesy thing to say, but it just, when someone's popped off and gone viral and made a bit of money, they walk differently. And to me, we've got stocks, ETFs, crypto, whatever. The best interest savings account in the world for me has been social media. And whenever I've had a spare 10K, I put it into camera, mic, studio, all of these things. Even my last book deal I've signed, I got my advance, they paid me way too much. I've given it half away already to my favorite author to help me write it. Whenever I get money, I think, how can I use this to make more money? I'm putting it into the social media interest savings account. I'm writing a book, because by doing that book, I get more content, I get more things to talk about, more things to, anyway, it comes back full circle. If I just put that money and put it into a fucking ETF, cool, it might compound over a few years and build generational wealth. Or I'll hire a fucking weapon that's going to make me write a book that's 10 times better, and I'll get the money back in a year or two. So social media also is going to help us with that brand morphization, the fact that we don't know where we're going. So if we can collate people's interests over time on social media, most of my data was from personal training. When we launched that book, I didn't become a #1 Sunday Times bestseller because of how good that book was. I did it because I had an email list from running a fitness business. Then all the events, everything, blah, 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 blah. Do the sellout, Hammersmith Apollo, get all of this data. Then suddenly when you release a drink, you've done 4 million cans. The business I built to run a fitness empire then made selling books very easy. Then everything I did selling books made launching a drinks brand very easy. The brand morphization of social media, you think 1.3, 1.4 million of my followers on Insta came for fitness, and they're now drinking my drink. That's why we need to not overlook or turn our nose up at social media. And for most of you, it's free. Social media is free. You might pay £15 a month but that's free. You know what I mean? Okay, we need to look at some personal brands that are crushing right now. Some of you may know of a guy on YouTube called Matt Armstrong. He pretty much rebuilds crash damaged cars. But any of you that go back and watch it, I just need you to realize he's telling stories. And the only thing that changes in the stories is the car. This guy's getting millions of views. He's built a massive personal brand. In the lockdown, he was working in an Indian restaurant serving tables. He's now one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. And he's found something that people are interested in. And again, know what we spoke about before. You think you're just watching a car channel, but you're not. It's education and entertainment. And when you put those things together, you have an irresistible channel. When you watch content online, especially YouTube, and we're going to talk about YouTube a bit, because I actually think a lot of what we're doing is going to YouTube. You guys, we spoke about watching people, human behavior. How many of you, when you put the TV on, go straight to YouTube? Back in the day, you'd put on Netflix, you might check what's on the TV. Now, I can't help but feel that a lot of us just go into YouTube. Now, for all of you pommy English people that are watching, there is a channel online called CarWow. For all of you Aussies, Australia is really fucking backwards, right? You go down the road in Australia, they have cars on the side of the road with signs that say for sale. And I'm like, mate, it's 2025 and you thought the easiest way to sell your car was to get an A4 bit of paper and put some fucking writing on it with your phone number on the street. In the UK, there are so many different ways. We buy any car, whatever. Now, CarWow, for many of you, thinks just does drag races. But if you look, their YouTube's genius. It's got over 10 million subscribers. And they reuse the same thumbnail in every single video, which is two cars, usually side by side. And the question is, what wins in a drag race between a Lamborghini Huracan and a Porsche 911 GT3? Cool. Because they found packaging that works, every single video follows the same packaging. But because the cars change and the curiosity changes, they have a new video that they can put out. Now, I'm not sure if you realize this, but Carwow uses the exact same formula for viral content that every single video should follow. So if you click on a Carwow video, what wins in a drag race between a Huracan and a 911 GT3? Hook. Now, just with that hook alone, we already know what's happening in this video. We're going to find out what wins. Now, we can't leave after the hook because if we want to know the answer, we must stay, right? So then just before that, we have, well, I'm Matt Watson and you're watching Carwow, which is a little bit of an introduction. I'm not really mad on that. But they don't go straight into the drag race. They go into something called a setup. So we have the hook, which makes people realize what I'm going to get from the video. The setup in Carwow is, so the Huracan has a naturally aspirated V10, it's got four-wheel drive, and the setup is actually giving us more information about the cars so that we can start to predict an outcome. We are becoming more invested in it. We are finding out which one's worth more, which one's got all-wheel drive, which one's rear-wheel drive, what's the horsepower. We're actually getting into an anticipatory part of the video where we're going, oh, I didn't know that the Huracan was four-wheel drive, the 911's only two-wheel drive, and we're building up to the payoff. And as we are building up, we're getting more emotionally invested. You start to think, do you know what? I think the Huracan's going to do this. Huracan has got a bigger engine and it's also got, you know what I mean? So we're going through the setup. And as we're going through the setup, we're learning. Remember, education is going to be learning about the cars. The entertainment is watching the drag race. So we get there, we get there, we get there. Just before they do the drag race, boom, ad read. Because you've got someone from the hook, you've got someone to the setup. If they did the ad read before the setup, people would leave. If they did the ad read before the hook, people would leave. If they did the advert after the payoff, people would leave. So the only place you can put a call to action is between the setup and the payoff. Then you get the payoff, which is the cars doing the drag race, and that's in the later part of the video. Every single piece of content should follow this. A hook where people know in the first few seconds what they're watching, what they're going to get, and whether or not they should stay around. It should build curiosity where they want to get the answer. The setup is where you give them more information about what is happening. It's where you give them context, nuance, whatever. Then we work up towards the payoff. If you do the payoff too early, people leave. If you do the payoff too late, people leave. There was a lad in the mentorship who he ate eggs on toast for a day. And I was like, mate, this isn't really a good video. Tell you what, do me a video where you only eat eggs on toast for a week to make your point. So his hook is, I ate only eggs on toast for a week to lose fat. Cool, hook. That's a statement hook, not a question hook. But he said there what he was going to do. Now people that go, could you lose fat doing that? Or why is he doing that? Are going to stay around. Instead of doing the setup, he then said, I lost 2.3 kilograms. And the video bombed. And I said to him, mate, the reason this is bombed is because you paid them off before the setup. You've given them the hook, then you've paid them off. The next 1 minute of your video is irrelevant. In the beginning of a film, you don't have an introduction, then find out what the main thing is that happened, then just have loads afterwards. So on YouTube, we can see this online. It's really, really, really important. There are so many things I need you to see in content now that you may not have noticed before. Because unless you start to analyze this, you can't make your own content better. So let's think about this. Top Gear. If you grew up with Top Gear, best time in my life, watching that Sunday evening before bed with the parents. Our favorite episodes were always the ones where they went on a trip, when they went to the Arctic or they went to the south of France, because it's a story. It's not just journalism, it's a story. So in your own head, you should know that Top Gear is better when they have the stories than anything else. Then also, the story isn't just going from here to here. There are raising the stakes, having the car behind them. There are, things that go wrong. There are so many things in that, the car breaking down, all of these storylines in it. We are attracted to stories. Now, the reason that I get excited about YouTube is there was a study conducted not too long ago that say, on average, people need to get 7 hours of content from you before they buy from you. 7 hours, let's just use that. I'm actually not sure if that is the exact amount of hours for whatever. Now, Daniel Priestley has the 4-11-7 rule, where he says it's 4 platforms, 7 hours of content, 11 touch points, something like that. And I agree. So what I've done is I've actually done the maths before this call. The average Instagram reel is 1 minute. If you wanted to do 1 minute videos every day to accumulate 7 hours, you would need to do 420 videos, 420. And that's if people even watch 1 minute. Now, if you're posting 4 times a week, that'll take you 2 years. So when we're thinking about accumulating that 7 hours of content, on short form content, especially, could take you 2 years. If you were to do 5 posts a week, it would take you 1.6 years. And if you were only posting 3 times a week, it's going to take you 2.5 years. So for some of you out there that are only posting reels and you're only putting stuff on content maybe 3 times a week, you're 2 years away from acquiring that 7 hours. Even today, right now, nearly 1,000 of you have already got 45 minutes of time from me. That is the same as you watching a 1-minute reel every single day for 45 days, but you wouldn't even watch them every day. We so far have already built maybe several months of rapport. You've heard me, you know I haven't taken a break yet, right? And you know this is a live recording. So this time that we're accruing now towards that 7 hours is helping you understand whether or not I actually know what I'm talking about. But now the average YouTube video is 11 minutes. The interesting thing is it used to be 13 minutes, but the average YouTube video is getting shorter. I know some people straight away are going to think to themselves, oh, James, how long should a YouTube video be? This is your golden rule as well. It can never be too long. It can only be too boring. I'll repeat that one more time. It can only be too long. It can never be too long. It can only be too boring. Matt Armstrong, the guy that repairs cars, he takes his 1 hour videos, bolts them all together, puts them on his Mark II channel. Some of the videos are 7-8 hours long. They got 20 million views. Because he retention edited those videos for so long, they do really well. So if you were to put out 11-minute YouTube videos and you were to do 3 a week, which is quite a lot, you would have that person as a client in 3.5 months, maybe 3 months. 3 months. So 11-minute videos 3 times a week, which would be more work, I get it. You would get that 7 hours in 3 months. If you were doing 5 videos a week, you could get it in like a month, maybe 2 months. Now, I'm not saying you'll need to run to YouTube. What I'm saying is so much of you for your personal brand, you want to start off short form content, you want to start on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but then I want you to think about this. If you needed 7 hours of time in front of people, would you do more live streams like this? Would you do more YouTube videos? Would you do more longer pieces of content to get that 7 hours? Would you be acceptable waiting 2 years to get someone to watch enough content, or would you diversify the modalities of content that you're doing? Would you appear on podcasts more? Would you start your own podcast? Whatever it is. I didn't realize this in the beginning, but when I was going live back in 2016, 2017, it wasn't that my live streams were that amazing. It's that I was getting 7 hours with people very quickly. When I started my podcast in 2021, I just thought it was a popular podcast. I thought it was good for sales. I was getting 7 hours from people, sometimes in a week. So we must think that with our personal brand, the information, everything that we're doing, we must use everything in our power to ensure that we are working towards that 7 hours. I am working towards that 7 hours right now with you, with the link in the description, with the discount for the Black Friday discount. Now, when it comes to growing a personal brand, there are some other considerations we need to take into account. Number one, exposure, and that's just being seen. On YouTube, we call that impressions. Short form content has never been easier with something that we call the TikTokification of social media. So ever since the pandemic, TikTok came along. Instead of serving us content based on who we were following, they served it to us on what we were interested in. So back in my day, people had to follow me to see my content. Right now, you can put out a banger reel and the whole internet will get shown it. So the TikTokification, although more people are now posting on social media, it's never been an easier time. But at the same time, long-form content has benefits as well. For instance, something called the binge effect. If you look at any of the end of my YouTube videos, I'll often go, and so if I watch, or you watch a video for 10 minutes, and then I point to another one that's 5 minutes, and you watch both, that average view duration has gone from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. It means YouTube and the algorithm is going to score that higher. Then if you then watch another one, the other benefit of that is, if you've just watched a 10-minute video, you are very likely to finish the second video. So there are so many kind of easy on short form, TikTokification, easy on long form, getting binge effects. Now, short form content is a lot easier. If you watch Adam Sullivan recently, you'll notice that on Instagram, you can quite literally just press the plus button. Hi, yeah, guys, just doing a live stream today. If you want to tune in at any point, just comment the word live. Cool, sweet, done. No production, nothing. For this, got to put the camera on, edit, all of those things. So short form is easier, but the impact is lessened. So you need to start thinking about those 7 hours, people. For your personal brand, whatever you're doing right now, we need to get to that 7 hours. Now, when it comes to building your brand, we also need to talk about personal growth. So if you play Grand Theft Auto, you know you need to level up your character. You need to get doing missions. You need to start getting experience. You need to start at the bottom, eat shit, do the boring stuff. But as you work up, you get access to more resources. Life is very much like that. There are going to be professional accolades, but I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like if you have got funky letters after your name, unless you're a doctor, unless you're operating on me, or unless you're a dentist, I don't care. So many S&C coaches try and suck off their own S&C qualification. No one cares. I would rather, you have personal accolades as well. Like if you're a triathlon or a high rocks person, win some fucking competitions. Like even for jiu-jitsu, I'll probably be a black belt in the next couple of years, but I'm not just a black belt that I want to be. I'm a brown belt that goes and wins competitions. I beat black belts competitions. I compete in adult divisions. I get about. Now, for me, I've never made actually, I've made a bit of money from jiu-jitsu. I got paid $1,000 to compete once, and I got takedown of the night. So $1,500 petrol money. So I'm only joking. So with that, right, your personal brand isn't just the components of your business. Jiu-jitsu isn't my business, but I still want to show people grit, perseverance, audacity, all of those things. So growing your personal brand, you need to also level up your character. Now, I'm not saying you all need to become a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but there should be some level of competency there, because some of you from this call, we're going to click the link in the description, you're going to give me a couple grand, right? And with that couple grand, you don't just want me to be a killer in social media, a killer in landing pages, content critiques, all of those things. If I'm here and I've got, you know, the third quickest track time in a GT3 at the local track, and I've got my black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm a 3 times #1 best-selling author, you're like, nah, this person strives for excellence in every component of his life. That's what makes a good mentor. So if you're a coach or you're someone in that world, any kind of accolade that you can get and put your name, you are building a persona that people go, do you know what? I want to be associated with that. Again, Dan Martell, Daniel Priestley, Alex Hormozy, love them, could beat them all in the fight. So at the end of the day, sure, there are people with more money than me. Could they beat me in a fight? Gordon Ryan would, but apart from that. And again, experience. I'll be honest with you, and I've said this before, I've actually learned half of what I know about business in the last 10 years and half what I know about business in the last 12 months. And you guys are probably the same, even as personal trainers, the rate in which you learn experience comes at such quicker rates. It comes so much quicker than you can ever really, really think about it. You seem to think that, it's going to be the same amount every year. I'd say your ability to learn doubles every year. So we spoke about that fist bump effect before. For the personal brand, I want you to be happy with people that never bought, people that never will, people that say I should have paid you, people that say you helped my nan. Let's remember that the pyramid attribution, without the people that never buy our stuff, we'll never get the people that will. Let's move into questions for this segment before we move into the next one. To have nearly 1,000 people on here is very flattering. Let's get into some of the questions. Cosmin Tillyman, I don't really like to be a pushy salesman. How important is that in online business? Great question. Neither do I. And what some of you may not realize is I'm actually quite introverted. So I actually don't like being with people all too much. It drains the fuck out of me. When I do the events in person, I'm wiped out for like 3-4 days. I'd like nothing better. Right now, I'm in my studio. No one's here. This is just me. I don't know anyone within almost half a mile of here. Great. I've never done a sales call in my life. So I'm not really keen on selling to people either, bro. So what I do is I create landing pages. So when you click that link in the description, for instance, that will take you to a landing page. There is no, you don't need to have a sales call. There's a video, there's all the information, buy, don't buy. I do the input here, then I'll wake up with money in my bank account tomorrow. That's it. I'm not pushing people into it. And if someone needs to be pushed, this is what I say. Hey, fucking join. And if within 3 months I've let you down on any side of this deal and I've not given you what I promised you, email me. Cool. With New Tonic, I've said to people, I'm not like, hey guys, please buy a New Tonic. Oh my God, it tastes... Actually, I'm a bit like that at the moment, but relax. So with this, I say, look, any of you watching this, if you go to our Black Friday discount, 21% off, I won't even ask for confirmation. If you don't like it, drop me an email, james@newtonic.com, I'll refund you in full. So I like using a guarantee instead of being a salesperson. I like to put your mind at ease. That's probably the best form of sales that you could have. Rule the trainer. How many emails time would you say it takes on average for a new email subscriber to buy and offer service? It depends, which is, I know, a bit of a cop-out question, but how did you get the leads? So if you've just blown up on social media, they've just joined your email list, that could take time. Also, how good are the quality of the leads? If they came from TikTok, they're going to have a much different buy rate than coming from Instagram. And how long it takes them to buy an offer depends on how good the offer is, how well curated your landing page is. Because at the end of the day, if you've got a shitty landing page, that could be strangling the bottleneck of your business. So, some of you got amazing socials, amazing email marketing, amazing lead magnet, then you get to your landing page and you're hosting it on fucking WAP or School and it looks like dog shit. The font is too small and the buttons don't work or whatever. So there are so many different components. Instead of you saying how many emails or time does it take, I would say, where is the bottleneck in your business? And let's address it, because this is why you need to use landing pages. And by the way, we're going to get into landing page versus website. Your sales page must give you data on visits and conversions. The reason is, if you go, James, I'm not converting any sales, I'd say, cool. Is it a traffic problem, aka we're getting good conversion rates, 4 or 5%, but not enough people joining, or are we getting loads of people visit our site and no one's buying? Those two things are very different remedies. Martin Matapo, how to decide what type of business or products I should start with. Okay, this is the first thing you need to know. Sometimes I go on people's socials and go, what are you selling? So you need to really find out what it is you're good at and what problems you can solve. Don't post on content, don't start any of this till you are sure about what you're selling. Dave, how do you compete with other PTs in a corporate gym like Fitness First, for example? You just talk to people. It's the only way you've got out of it. Ask Fitness First, they'll send an email to the members introducing you, but you just got to talk to people. I got someone try and fight me on my first day because I was trying to talk to them. Another thing you can do is build up your social media. What I love is, and there's definitely an ego component here, for my first months at Fitness First, I was going up to people and begging them, hey, do you want to do a free session? They're telling me to fuck off. I go over and try and give people like, hey mate, can I give you, a little bit of a tip? And they were like, nah, mate, I just got shushed away by so many people when I was a personal trainer at Fitness First. So many people just didn't care. And then as I grew my socials and my following started getting bigger, 40, 50K, 60K, the same people that told me pretty much to fuck off or took their headphones out and were like, no thanks, then started going, oh, James, can I book in a session? And I'll be like, no, fuck you guys. I hate you. Don't tell them to fuck off. So also, if you want to compete, one, you have to prospect, but two, sometimes you need to level up your character. Because if you get to a certain level of status and notoriety within the community, those clients are going to come to you. And again, remember what I said about being an introvert? I take it very personally when people say no to me. It's one of the reasons I don't do sales calls. If you don't want to buy my shit, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to sit on a sales call and beg you to join my shit for you to go, I'll have to think about it. That'll ruin my day. Instead, I want no feedback, brother. I don't want any rejections. I've had enough of that in my life from door-to-door sales. Level up your character and they'll come to you. Luke Juju 15, you show up daily on email, LinkedIn. How do you never miss a day without running out of things to talk about? You get creative. And being creative is just like a muscle, bro. Like the same way that you can train a muscle, you can train the creative part of your brain. You and I started in the same position. I used to have 0 followers. We all started with 0 followers on our social media account. And because you say, how do you show up daily and stay creative? I go, if you show up daily, you can stay creative. Tika, that's a complicated name. If I've already made videos about solving my clients' problems, how can I move through the plateau and find new content ideas? Motherfucker, I've been doing the same 10, 15 videos over and over again for 10 years, bro. It's not about new, it's about making it better. Imagine this. If I go to your social media profile right now and I say, I get a fucking gun out and I go, show me the best fucking video you've ever done. And you go, it's this one. I go, not just views, which one got you the most fucking clients? You go, oh, it was this one. I go, cool. Can you make it better? If you don't make it better, I'm gonna kill your whole fucking family. And you're like, oh yeah, well go make it better then. Because if that video got you 10 fucking clients before, if you make it a better version of it, you might get 15. And then you go, okay, now what? Well, let's find the second best video you've ever done and make it better. All you ever do is just keep redoing them. If you go to my YouTube, most of them, or even my Instagram, it's the same fucking videos over and over again. Think about this. Imagine you see like a skyline. There's a big building in there. You go, I'm gonna build a bigger one. So you build a bigger one. Someone's gonna come along and go, do you know what we're going to do? Go on, build a bigger one. They build a fucking bigger one. Then some other cunts come along. They go, we should build a bigger one than them two. Build the next one. Now, all of these people out-competing each other. The Burj Khalifa will no longer be the tallest building in the world within probably 10, 15, 20 years, whatever. You just have to keep skyscrapering all of your own videos. So, you don't just make a video on everything and move on because you are accelerating and learning at such a different rate. Your creativity over time compounds way bigger than an ETF. How can I find new content ideas? Go back and make them fucking better, bro. Dan Devonside, you said you're from Windsor, I saw that. Thoughts on high ticket sales? I've always been told by others to sell high ticket, and to be honest, I always thought it was ludicrous, would rather sell affordable coaching. Okay, I know exactly who your fucking business mentors are from this. Okay, now I'm just gonna tell you a little bit of a truth about the industry. So, I hate high ticket, I hate low ticket, I hate the terminologies, it's bollocks. There are coaches out there that want you to charge big amounts for long amounts of revenue. And the reason they want to do that is so you can have a big month. And the reason they want you to have a big month is so they can market you. So let's say you're making 2 to 3 grand a month. You go join one of these gurus and they go, Don't focus on anything apart from high ticket. High ticket, you're going to charge $3,000 for 3 months. And they big you up, they go, you're worth it, brother, you're worth it. And then they're going to get high pressure sales calls. You're not going to mention pricing, right? It's starting to sound familiar. So you then start getting all your leads and you find your 5, 10 hottest leads. Now you put them all into your diary for a week and you go on there and you close and you have your strategies and your sales systems. Now you sign 4 people at $3,000, you made $12,000 in a month. Now, although you've just taken half a year's revenue and compressed it all the way into where you are right now, that guru doesn't give a shit about your business. They just want to go, hey, Dan, how much were you making before? $3,000. What did you make last month? 12. Sign up to me mentorship. Sign up. I took Dan. He's making 10K a month now. He's making 10K. They're only doing it for the vanity of the metrics of how it looks for them. Now, there is no high ticket. I'm going to get into that into the next thing. You charge based on demand. When loads of people want your shit, you can charge more. My business mentorship was $999 a year ago. What happened? More people want it. Why? Because I turned up and built my socials, built my brand, built the reason that you should believe me, and now I get to charge more. One more question. Again, Nima the Machine, as a small creator, high ticket or low ticket to start with, how about you charge what you're fucking worth? And what I mean by that is, once you are full, we're going to get into this, you increase your prices. And if you're not full, you're not marketing hard enough. Okay, one more. Dommy Swee 64 or 84. For someone starting out, what's your thoughts on warm outreach? Messaging people that follow on social media? Absolutely fucking not. A load of business gurus have started wanking off each other, being like, oh my God, there's a mini chat feature where you can DM people that follow you. I actually followed a guy the other day who's a millionaire with cars, and I got an auto response, and I was like, you fucking desperate cunt. Listen, you should not be messaging people. Because they follow you, they are not warm. I just fucking told you that 98% of people will never fucking buy your shit. You are on the cusp of making that 99 to 100 with this beggy fucking outreach bollocks. Now, when people are ready, they will come to you. That is how we build these brands. No DMing strangers. Now, you can DM them if they comment on your post a certain word that you've put in there as a ManyChat automation, but you do not want to scream desperate. Imagine this. I've got a few 100K kicking about at the moment, right? And I'm not sure where to invest it. So my friend's been buying property in Victoria, and I was like, oh, sweet. They go, I'll connect you. This motherfucker called me 3 times in a day. I was like, nah, I'm never buying any property off this fucker, because he was so desperate, sending me emails, all of that. Now, if this guy had ignored me for 3 weeks, I'd go, let's buy some fucking property. But because he was so desperate and so clingy and so in my face trying to get business, he's completely turned me off. I will never buy anything from this person ever. Again, let's say you meet a girl at a bar and she texts you too much, or you meet a guy and he texts you too much. You're like, this person's a fucking psycho. Now, if you follow someone and automatically get a DM, it is desperate. And again, every single one of you knows this in the dating market. If you get a sniff of desperation, you go nowhere near someone. Nowhere near them. Whether it's a dude at 35 being like, please go on a date with me, or it might be a woman at 33 going, should we get another drink tomorrow night? They've always got the crazy eyes. Do not get too desperate. Okay, we're going to move into the next segment. We're going to get through some more of the questions at the end. Okay, so one thing we need to understand is avatars. Avatars are the people that we're communicating to on social media. Because although we have that pyramid attribution, we don't want to talk to everyone. So we all need a basic mission statement. And so many of you do not have this. I go, who do you work with? And they go, I help people overcome stress and build self-confidence whilst living a life of being truly free. I'm like, what the fuck is that? It's not a mission statement. There should be maybe 2 to 3 things you help people with, and they can't be bland. I help people lose fat and build muscle and get fit. Oh, so you just fucking help everyone, do you? Whatever it is, make it clear. Make it something you can say in one breath. The choice of language, mission statement, choice of language. Do you swear? How do you talk? How's your cadence? I'm quite in people's faces. That's just how it is. Your avatar, you must speak to a specific problem as well. So often I will talk about landing pages, I will talk about contacts, I'll talk about data, I'll talk about all of these things because I know your problems. There must be relatability to your avatars. Now, there's also something you might not notice. When you watch adverts on TV, even the voice they use is perfect for the client. So a Range Rover advert is, head into your local Range Rover dealership to see what we can do on the new Vogue. But then if you see like a Toyota Hilux, it's like, get down to Toyota with a 7-year warranty on the new Hilux. They even talk in the voice of the person they want to attract. Now, if any of you are unsure, you should all have a perfect favorite client. Mine, her name was Susan Green. Susan Green, Jackie Smith, they're my 2 favorite clients of all times. Every time in fitness when I turned up and spoke about that, So many times when I spoke about anything, I was talking to Jackie and Susan, because if you have a perfect client, you want more people like that. Susan Green used to bring me leftovers from a dinner that I could have for lunch. I wanted more clients like that. So when you've got your avatar, think of your choice of language. If you swear or not, it's going to determine how many of those people are going to be drawn towards you. I made the mistake of wearing a polo shirt and having an iPad. I tried to be professional as a PT, and guess what? I attracted fucking loads of bellends. I did. I attracted so many bellends who would come in and be like, oh, James, yeah, you know, finance, blah, blah, blah. But now, I even wear vests and shorts when I do speaking gigs. Why? Because they're the type of people I want to attract. Do you want to know my level of professionalism? I ain't even wearing shoes, brother. I don't even wear shoes anymore. I don't wear them to go to the shop because I don't care. And if someone goes, hey, that James Smith is a bit of a scruff. Oh, who cares? Brand. Now, we're going to talk about something you might not have been expecting, right? Financial goals and materialistic obsessions. I think all of you, although you should be focused on your business, should have something in mind, like a luxury car that you want. I actually think materialistic obsessions are good. I think that you should want to fly business class with your partner. Gerald Lee, at the weekend, flew from Singapore. I did a bit of one work with him last year. I see him on his Instagram flying business class. When he turns up to the event that we did last weekend, I said to him, hey mate, how was business class? I know that's his first flight. Not only did he fly business, he surprised his missus. So his missus was getting to the airport, had no idea. There are so many things in your life and your world that can change, right? I will never forget when I took Tay flying back from the UK to Sydney. And when we got on the plane, she hadn't noticed her ticket said first class. So we'd flown business a couple of times. She hadn't noticed. And so when you get on Emirates, when you're business class, they go, yeah, down there on the left. When you go first class, they go, come with me, and they take you to your apartment. Tay cried. She was that overwhelmed. She couldn't believe it. She was like, oh my God, we get there. She's crying. She's having a glass of champagne. That moment to me meant more than all the money I'd made all year. The time that I drove out a Porsche dealership in not even my dream car. My dream car was an Audi RS6, right? My lifetime dream car I only had for 10 months, and then I sold it and got something better. So it's good to have these things you want to do. It's not a waste of money to have a magical moment, because when I die, I'll probably have a flash of all the things that were important to me. It'll probably be any children that I had, the time I flew first class with my missus, even my son at 4 months old got to fly first class, which don't do, by the way. Business class is better with kids, just throwing it out there. You get the bar at the back. In first class, you don't even have a cubby hole to put the pram in, so it has to go at the end. But anyway, we'll get into that. So you should have ambitions. Maybe the car's a 2-3 year goal, but all of you within the next year, your business should pay for a business class flight. And it doesn't matter if it's only to Europe or it's to New York or whatever. It's so amazing. You'll have so many hard days at work, but when you see your kid asleep in business class, it's honestly worth everything. Okay, so we're going to get into the sales process, arguably one of the most important parts of this entire video. So sales calls is one of the things that I butted heads on with a lot of people. I'm going to say this, sales calls work, but if it's the only thing you've ever done, of course it works. Think about this. So let's say some dude walks into the gym, he's got a really good chest, and all he does is press ups. Imagine I say to him, oh mate, you could do cable flyers and bench press. He's going to go, no, just do press ups. He has that vision of the world because it's all he's ever done, right? And a lot of these mentors that some of you have used before, of course they like sales calls. Do you know why? Because they are fucking shit at email marketing. They've got the personality of a fucking plank, and they have no design concepts for making a good landing page. And because imagine this, I'm just going to throw this out there. My job would be so much easier if I got all of the people in my mentorship to just fucking do sales calls. Hey, just get on a call, tell them why it's good, give them a guarantee. But I don't want to give them the things that I don't want to do. So sales calls work, but they often work because they're the only fucking thing that you're doing. Now, there is something called the empty diary effect. So if I get on your diary and there are loads of fucking call slots available, it's like walking past an empty restaurant. Let's say you're in Mallorca, you're on a family holiday, you're walking down a cobbled street and you see a restaurant that's completely fucking empty, right? Hey, come in, we got great food. No, you fucking don't, mate. You haven't even got, I can't even see a fucking chef. There's no one in there, food poisoning and diarrhea. That's what you think when you see empty. So if you showcase someone an empty diary, bounce, they're gone. And again, not many of you are getting the data from Calendly of the amount of people that went to book a call and then fucked off. So then some of you go to the scarcity effect and you only open 2 slots a day. Now, if I get to your diary and the only 2 slots a day are at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m., I fucking bounced. If it's at 4 p.m. and I'm at work, I'm bouncing. If it's at midday, that's my fucking lunch break, I'm bouncing. So many of you, whether you look to scarce or you look to open, you're fucking yourself through the empty diary effect. Then you've got time wasters. And the time wasters are the people that sit through the whole fucking call and go, yeah, just going to talk to my husband. That hour of your time is gone. And it's not just the hour, right? Because you have the hour that you spent on the call. But if you're like me, you stress. If something's in my diary at 3 p.m., I can't relax until I've done the 3 p.m. So there's the hour before the call where you're making sure this alarm you set on your phone, it's the stress throughout the day. That 1 hour is probably eating up 2 hours of fucking cognitive time. Now, that 2 hours could have been spent writing email marketing automations, filming a YouTube video. It could have been doing something, creating content. Now, 2 hours more a week or 4 hours more a week, let's say you do 2 calls, that compounding effect is a bigger following, bigger fucking email list, you being better at stuff. Those things can scale. Getting good at sales calls can't. So then you've got the time zones. You should be running a global business. If you're looking to go online, you should be running a global business. Global business means people aren't going to be in your time zones. Then you have the no-shows. I fucking binned a podcast because one cunt didn't show up. Johan Hari just didn't show up to the podcast, like, fuck this, dickhead, podcast is shit, no longer doing it. Some people will not show up, and maybe their dog died. But then you sit there thinking, this motherfucker didn't even respect me enough to get on the call at the right time. The no-shows kill you. No one has a no-show, then goes, oh, let's go make some content. I can't wait to make some content. They do your fucking head in. Also, there's something called the menu effect. Before I go to a restaurant, before I go to a hotel, I don't actually care how much it costs. I just want to see what the rooms look like. And with the restaurant, I want to see the menu. You motherfuckers that I try and say, I only discuss my pricing on calls, people are bouncing. People like me, when I bought Ed Lawrence's course, I go, what's the most expensive thing you do? He goes, this, go cool, buy. There are so many people out there like me. And if you withhold pricing, bounce. Most people are not going to fucking get there. Would you go to a hotel or restaurant without seeing the menu or knowing how much it's going to cost? Imagine I go, oh, go here, it's an amazing place. How much is it? Oh, you don't know till you get there. Fuck off. So many of you think you're strategizing for a way to make more sales, but the stuff you are being fed is fucking bullshit. And if you were to email me, which I get, people send me long emails. Oh, James, I've been in mentorships before. Oh, I've been let down. Oh, my last mentor this, my last mentor that. I don't even read the fucking email. I'll just respond and go, hey, mate, if you haven't made your fucking money back in 3 months, I'll refund you in full. How's that? Now, that has taken me 8 seconds. So rather than jumping on a call for a fucking hour, have 8 seconds. And even then, I was being generous because most of the time I don't talk to people that don't give me money. And that can sound like a really dickish thing, right? This call is one of the only times I will ever talk to anyone that has not given me money. It's just the way I like to operate my business. It sounds bad, but I've only got a finite amount of energy and I want to protect it. Now, some industries do need a call. Maybe you're an accountancy firm bringing on a client, whatever it is. But let's reframe that into an onboarding call. So instead, let's say you're an accountancy firm, you charge $7,000 a year. I would say to someone like, look, I can't give you a member of staff until you join, but how about this? If you join and you pay us the $7,000, once that's got to the accounts, we're going to do an onboarding call. However, if in the onboarding call, we don't have exactly everything that we've promised, you have a 30-day no-qualm money-back guarantee. So I would even make sure that the money's in the bank before even putting anyone on a call with someone, because then you eradicate the time wasted, the no-shows. No one's going to need to think about it. If they're ready to pay $7,000, they're ready to do an onboarding call. So the only sales call I'd ever have is an onboarding one. And some people go, but other coaches do them. Other coaches do sales calls. Yeah, because they're dumb. They're stupid. They've been misled by their fucking old mentor and they're shit at fucking content. They're shit at landing pages and they're shit at writing email marketing emails. And guess what? I was for a few years too. But the skills that you can learn from operating a funnel that doesn't need a fucking sales call is going to revolutionize not just your business, but all the other processes in it. Because ultimately, if one of my videos goes fucking mental overnight, which they do, I've got YouTube videos that after 4 months have gone viral, I just wake up and the money's there. I don't want to wake up to a busy fucking calendar with loads of sales calls. I don't want that. And some of you go, yeah, you could just get someone else to do the sales calls, or just create a system where you don't fucking need them. And those of you that are hiding your pricing from your clients, you're fucking snakes, right? And I get it. It wasn't your idea. Other people told you that you should be doing it. Either way, you're fucking snakes. Like, you click on that offer, you see the price that I'm offering you, price first. When I go to buy my car, I don't give a fuck. I like the fact it's expensive. That's why I wanted the car. Now, you wouldn't go to a Porsche dealership and they go, hey, sir, you can go for a test drive, then we'll show you the price. No. When I went to buy my car, I said to him, I'm not touching this car or getting in it till we can work out some fucking numbers, bro. So, yeah, it's not scalable in my opinion. Now, we spoke before about a landing page. Landing page and a website are two different things. When we go to a website, about me, contact us, And then you've got social icons, which is pretty fucking stupid. If I go to your profile, trust me, bro, you don't want me clicking on your YouTube, because when I get to your YouTube and your video is a bit boring, I've clicked on someone else's YouTube, I'm now half an hour into a cook along with Andy Cooks, and I'm never going back to your website. A landing page is a page with one option. If you go to the link in the description to this video, you'll notice there is only one place for you to go, and that's to buy. A squeeze page is where you get someone's email address, only get an email. Landing page, only place you go to make a sale. Now, for those of you that do a VSL, this is your opportunity, okay? A VSL is a video sales letter. It is a video that you put on your landing page. Now, you've all seen 8 Mile, you've all seen the rap battle at the end. Fuck everybody, fuck y'all if you doubt me. I'm a piece of white fucking trash, I say it proudly. So if you have done a load of sales calls, that's great because you now know all the objections. So in your VSL, you get there and you say to people, look, I get it, you've been stung by business mentors before, people that told you you needed to DM 150 people a day and book people on calls. They told you you need to do high ticket and they got you to your first 10K month, then they abandoned you and never gave you the support, the structures that you need. Well, in my mentorship, I actually teach you how to get good at the things that is very difficult to get good at. Social media, email marketing, creating great landing pages. And that's where you're here, where there isn't the ability to do a sales call, but here's my guarantee. If you don't absolutely love it, make your money back in 3. You see what I'm saying? All those objections you put into your video sales letter, not, hi, my name's James. They know who the fuck you are, mate, because they've just come from your email marketing campaign they've been reading for 22 days. You can just objection handle all of their insecurities. Then every 3 months of working with people, you go back and you change your VSL, you make it a little bit better. That video should do all the sales for you. We then put pretty much all the information from that in the landing page. Now, you might say, what could someone get from a call they couldn't get from a VSL? I'm not sure. I actually don't know. Because if someone was to watch one of my VSLs and go, I need more information, I'll go, you're obviously a retard. And that sounds harsh. But if you've watched a 3-minute video where I've explained everything on a page that has all the information and you still need a call, then you're a retard. I'm sorry. And I don't want you to work with me. Sometimes people will email me and I'll go, hey, look, here's the offer. Then they'll come back and ask more questions. I'll just leave them on air because no offense, you're a retard. And I'm not going to bend over backwards to get a retard in the ecosystem because you're ultimately going to need more work than everyone else because you're a retard. And again, choice of language, personal brand. If someone sat there going, oh my God, James just said the word retard. You don't know the level of learning difficulties that I've had. I had to sit in the fucking cloakroom with all the retards at school. So I am a retard. I got tested for dyslexia, dyspraxia, ADHD, the lot. So my neurodivergence, I am a retard, so I can say what I want. Cool. So if you're going to make a good video sales letter in 2025, these are some of the things you need to do. Don't script it, okay? Don't script it. People out there reading the teleprompter like, hi, my name's James. Welcome to my business mentorship. Listen, if you can't sell what it is you're selling in 3 minutes off the cuff, you're a retard. So maybe don't even have a landing page. Go back to recruitment. Just sit there and tell me what the fuck it is you do and how it's going to help me. 3 minutes maximum. You're not fucking Oppenheimer doing a Christopher Nolan, all right? 3 minutes maximum. If you can't get across your value, you guarantee and you're offering 3 minutes, you're a retard. Don't introduce yourself. Don't be a retard. Solution and product first. Not, my name's James. I used to play rugby for Berkshire under 21s when I was younger, and I used to get petrol money playing for Berkshire. No one cares. Tell me what it is. It's a cohort course full of content that's going to make you a fucking weapon at everything you do. And my goal is to, because I've got a little bit of a mental issue, right? You can tell I'm a little bit mental. I want to be a black belt at everything. I've got track days coming up, content creation, editing, everything. There's something wrong with me. And that's what I want for my clients. I want them to obsess over every single little detail because even if I fall short, even if I never become a black belt, I will still be a highly skilled brown belt, which is higher than most other people. So in that video, solution and product first, what it is that you're doing. I've created this, I've created a community. I will look at your stuff myself and I'll give you harsh feedback. And you know what? Sometimes I am a little bit too cruel. I'll be honest with you. For those of you watching, sometimes I'm very, very harsh, but you need it. I sometimes call my approach chemotherapy. Now, chemotherapy is not there to kill you. It's there to inspire you to, survive and bounce back. The worst thing I could ever do in my mentorship is go, yeah, looks good, mate. Also, with the VSL, consider this. Enjoy it. Even this video, I'm actually enjoying it. And I've done this before where I hit record on the camera, start doing a video, then I stop and I come back and go, James, just fucking enjoy it. I even have to do this some days where I'm driving down the road just in no mood. And I'm like, James, what a great day. I'm like, yeah, do you know what? So I hit record and I go, my name's James Smith. Remember, don't introduce yourself. Welcome to my business mentorship. I'm just putting on a little bit of a smile. This is where I help people get good at making money online using social media. And just that little bit of a smile doesn't just mean that the person watching it can see that I'm enjoying it. It makes me enjoy it more. And there should be a flow to your offer. There should be a flow in the things that you talk about, and this is how it should look. All right, here we go. We'll get into that in a second. First of all, let's do some questions. Luke's just popped up on my phone. So when the boss comes up on the WhatsApp, you know it's good. Catherine Sargent, all right, I'm definitely doing yours. Catherine's a weapon. I'll be honest with you, it took Catherine nearly 2 years to pop off. I thought she was deserving of that before, but sometimes the algorithm can be cruel, and I love seeing her success. I've been talking about the same thing for over a year until a video I made was good enough to do well. I've probably done the exact same topic in 20 different videos, then one popped off, 71. So Catherine Sargent, amazing at chin-ups. Like you say there, she did so many variations of the video. The video stayed the same, she got better. Cadence, pacing, setups, production, B-roll, overlay. These things may seem alien to you, but when you click the link in the description, and sure, I'll do here as well. If any of you are in my mentorship with this, if you don't mind just commenting and telling people what your experience has been like. Ryan Summers, literally the last mentorship I was in, DM, 50 a day, working up to 100 a day, I hated it. I'm so glad James has this method out there, many gurus play on PTs, lack of business knowledge, because it's hard to make you a black belt in all of this business stuff. And do you know what? There should be no component of your business that you hate. Maybe creating the landing page for the first time you'll hate, but that's it. Jay, how do you work out who's your ideal client? And do you need to determine this using AI or research in the market? Okay, for any of you really new to working with people, work with everyone. Work with everyone. Because then it's only doing that you can understand who you like, who you don't like. When you look at your calendar and you go, God, do you know what? I actually don't like working with the dudes as much as the girls. When you have some people that are like corporate dudes and you're like, oh, I don't have as much fun with those. I have way more fun with the builders. It's only through testing many different foods at Cheesecake Factory can you determine what your regular is. You got to try something random at Cheesecake Factory once in a while. You got to go for a pasta dish. It's only through doing that you can realize that you're a BLT man for life with cheeseburger spring rolls. So it's a bit like you got to play the field, mate, to understand that. Do you know what? This is my biggest hack for you guys on here. Have you noticed I've not used AI yet or mentioned it or whatever? If you want to get ahead, get fucking good at all of these things I'm talking about to the point you never use AI. Because right now, it is so easy. People aren't stupid. People can see when something's done with AI. I'm now putting spelling mistakes and using lowercase letters in emails so that people know it's not written with AI. I actually think the next play before AI takes over, and by the way, I'm not saying AI is not going to take over. I'm saying we've probably got 4 or 5 years till we're all fucked. And if you listen to the Daniel Priestley podcast, you'll know this. The next 5 years, as depressing as it sounds, there's going to be the biggest separation of wealth ever. There are going to be people with and people without. And the reason that I'm trying to teach you guys all of this stuff is I would like more of you and myself to be on the side of with. I think it's going to be way darker and way shitter and way more fucked than anyone can decide. I want to be mortgage-free, debt-free. I want to have a big house. I want a big fence. I want security cameras and loads of dogs. So that when AI does come in 5 years' time and fucks us all, I'm ready. And you guys should be doing the same too. But for the time being, I think AI is cheapening your offer more than you would think. Josh, what are your thoughts on trial reels? Pretty much, there are people, imagine this, right? There are people out there too scared to post because they don't want to lose followers. There are, especially the big accounts. They're shitting themselves, they'll do a post, it won't be well received. So trial reels was created for creators that are too scared to post because Instagram needs a good cadence. Instagram needs you to post more because then more people stay on the platform. Do I think it's a hack? Not really. You might get a few viral trial reels, but again, most people using trial reels just started posting more. They started getting better at making content because they were posting more. They got excited over the shiny new thing and did the thing that they should have done in the first place. So they're okay. I don't think it's the new way, it's cool. It's a tool, but I'm not as excited as everyone thinks. Because now there's trial reels, right? All your competitors have just upped their posting frequency by 20 times. There's now 4,000% more reels to compete with. So trial reels, although I think it's giving you the advantage, it's giving your competitors the advantage as well, which is one of the reasons why I kind of want people to YouTube. Adam, how can you put guarantees in for your coaching, especially if you do coaching calls? You can't force someone to do what's required and then refund them. You'll lose hours of work. Okay, Adam, here's the way you do this, right? You don't be shit. If your refund rate is anywhere above 5%, you're not doing your job well enough and you deserve to lose those hours, right? If 20% of people are asking for their money back, you shouldn't be selling what you're selling. If 20% of meals get returned in my restaurant, I shouldn't be running a fucking restaurant. You understand that? Now, you could be crying over the 5% refunded. There's a good new tonic, for instance, right? We lose 100% of the money and the postage. We lose everything when I refund people. And I'm doing it out of my own pocket. You might think I'm crazy, but think about this for a second, Adam. When I say to people, head to New Tonic, 21% off, Black Friday discount, buy whatever you want, I'll refund in full. I could get 3 times the amount of sales to refund a few people. So you, with the guarantee, you might lose 6 hours in 1 month, but you might double your fucking sales volume, bro. You might also free up, by giving a guarantee, you're not doing sales calls. So you might be saving 2 to 4 hours a week. Then one person in a blue moon will fucking ask for a refund. You've already earned those hours back by not doing the calls. So you have to be willing to free up a bit of time on one side to get it back on the other. Also, it's good to have a guarantee because then you can't be shit. I've just sent off our Australian cans back to the factory again to do another version because I know that my guarantee is so strong that if the quality of our product isn't good enough, I have to pay the price. The same way you should have to pay the price for that. So you shouldn't be worried about refunds. If you are, your product could be shit. And also, you just need to back the fact that if you're good at what you do, not many people will ask for a refund. I probably refund someone once every 3.5 weeks for New Tonic, and we've done 4 million cans. We are doing nearly $100,000 a day, and that is the refund rate. Because it's not the refund they want. It's the confidence and the aura in saying it. And what if I told you this, Adam? I don't offer the money back guarantee for you or the clients. I do it for me. I need something that makes me more comfortable selling. I need something that makes me a better salesperson. And the money back guarantee helps me do that. It is a selfish vendetta. And again, you know what I said? No one cares about you. Maybe I don't care about you. Maybe I give the money back guarantee so I sleep better at night. And if someone asks me for a refund, they deserve it because they're unhappy. And again, bro, Adam, if you don't refund someone, you have someone out there who hates you. And someone that hates you will spread a negative message 10 times further than someone that loves you. If someone wants their money back, you should go back to them and say, of course. Is there anything else I can do? I'm so sorry I didn't live up to it. Can I have some feedback, please? Because feedback from someone that actually invested money in you is some of the most valuable feedback ever. So we can disagree on this. You'll lose hours of work only if you're shit. And the guarantee is what a lot of people need to be humble and to have the humility to be a good salesperson, but also to be a good coach. Just because the money's in your bank account doesn't mean it's all yours. Don't forget that. And by offering people the guarantee, that will make you a better coach. Ken, what would I tell people to make me stand out among other sports therapists when we all work with the same people, have the same goal of getting people paying free? Ken, I'm a personal trainer amongst hundreds of thousands. I've got the name James Smith. I'm a white boy from Berkshire in a highly saturated industry. I've got no qualifications. I've dropped out of uni. I've got learning difficulties. And we're all saying the same thing. Eat less, move more. How do I stand out? Just keep turning up and become very, very good at making content. Get very, very good at communicating with people. If you dedicate the next 3 years to getting good at all the things we're talking about here, you will stand out. And here's another thing, Ken, right? I was in these PT seminars back in the day, hundreds of personal trainers in the room, hundreds of them. The only person I ever recognized was Jamie Alderton. I never saw another face again. There are so many points in my career where everyone else just gave up. So there are going to be a lot of people, sports therapists like you, that do in person and they want to get online. Every time you hit a hurdle where things get really fucking hard, just keep going. Because every boundary you get to, there are loads of your competitors dropping off. That's my best advice. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. Musa, can I join the mentorship if I haven't figured out the product or service? You can, but I would advise against it. I actually don't think you're a good fit. If anything, I actually would say, unless you're doing at least £1,000 online a month, it may not be the best place to come to. So by all means you can, but at the same time, I'm just going to be honest with you. Most people have already got their toe in online stuff. They've already got socials, probably between 1,000 followers and above. You can, but it would make me uncomfortable that you're not already making money. Because what I want for people is to make their money back in 3 months. And if you haven't even got your product figured out, you might not make your money back for a year or 2 years. And that can make me uncomfortable. Nemo, recording on iPhone or content studio. Some people think really having good studio might make it feel fake. Do you feel fake right now with the information? iPhone is fine to begin with. Remember, better the right message on the wrong camera than the wrong message on the right camera. I've seen some really well-produced dog shit in my life. Okay, obsession car detailing. I make these detailed videos about cars, PPF, and get barely any views. Then I make some brain rot content that makes no sense, gets thousands. What's the point? Does it get customers? Okay, your content is just not setting it up right. So for instance, you've just said here, you do PPF, etc. No one on this call knows what PPF means, bro. No one else knows that it stands for paint protection film. No one knows, right? No one knows the difference between a wrap and PPF. For people who are watching, you can go to Dennery Avison and get wrap, and you wrap your car, but it doesn't actually protect the paint. PPF is a lot thicker. You also have self-healing PPF. No one on this call knows what self-healing PPF is. If you get a brush and you scratch the PPF on the side of my Audi, then I leave it in the sun, it fucking heals. No one knows that you can protect your paint with PPF. Your job is to educate people. The reason, and trust me, people watching this are interested. Also, not many people on this call know that it is a full business tax deductible to wrap your car. I can't write off my car, but all those Newtonic wraps that get eyeballs and people to take photos of it is a tax deductible. There is so much people are genuinely interested about when it comes to PPF and car wraps. You are just not making the content interesting enough. I guarantee, just from the people currently watching now, if you were to make content about this, you could do it. There's a video online peeling off PPF off the orange GT3 RS that went off at the Nürburgring. People cannot believe the level of protection it gives the paintwork underneath. You have a content problem, not a niche problem, because I would fucking froth that bit of content. All right, and for any of you as well that maybe haven't seen Content Mastery, I actually can give you a link for this now. If you're not ready to join, there is a link there for Content Mastery. Again, it's one of those things. Coleman works. Should I start posting on my new personal Instagram with followers or my new smaller account with no followers? It's an AI content business. If the issue is that the people that follow you, like your aunt and your cousins, so sometimes you think you've got a head start because you're using your personal account that's got 700 followers. I disagree, because remember how we spoke about the algorithm determining whether or not your content is shit or not? If your aunt and your uncle see it, they might give it a double tap. Your cousin might go, yeah, see what he's doing, have a little double tap. But the problem is that by doing so, they're not going to watch it. The average view duration is going to be poo. So you might need to start from the bottom. That's why I started a new YouTube channel, which we're on right now. Now we're going to get into pricing. This is where this could be the daddy of this talk so far. First of all, when I see a Porsche GT3 RS, I like the fact it's expensive. People like expensive stuff. You think your missus doesn't like the fact that a Birkin handbag is really expensive? Do you not think that people are drawn towards expensive stuff? You should be proud of pricing. Those of you that say high ticket and you're scared, it's because you don't think you're worth that much, and I'm not surprised. You bought into a mentorship that forced you to do it. So we can disagree on these pricing rules, and we can get into it in the next question part. If people can't afford something, that's fine. Remember, pyramid attribution. We only need the top 2% to buy. Do you think Porsche and Ferrari are crying about the fact people can't afford their cars? Have you noticed that the most elite Ferrari, Porsche, McLaren, they don't run discounts for Black Friday? Again, would you stay in a hotel if it didn't show prices? And also, when there's a hotel that's really expensive, people want to stay in it. Burj Al Arab in Dubai. It's like a 6-star hotel. It looks run down as shit, but because it's like fucking 2-3 grand a night, people want to stay there. Again, I used to charge a fifth of what I did for the business mentorship a year ago. How did pricing change? And this is where we come into the continuum of pricing versus demand. So there are so many things that do not have a fixed price. Oil, Rolexes, plane seats, off-white trainers, high demand cars. A Porsche GT3 RS does not cost that much from Porsche. It costs more secondhand. Handbags, Pokemon cards, domains, number plates. All of these things, the expensiveness of it is based on how many people want it. School holidays, for instance. So many of you are happy to be bummed on flights and accommodation when you go away for school holidays. Why is that? Because more people want to go away on school holidays than normal. Those of you in the UK, you get charged money to pick your kids at term time, but it works out cheaper than going away. So imagine this as an exercise. I get put in charge of starting a brand new hotel in Sydney. It's just been built and they go, James, we need help with marketing. I'd say, cool, we're going to give rooms away for half price. And some people go, why the hell are you going to give rooms away for half price? I go, well, no one wants to stay there. That is a problem. So we're going to give rooms away for half price, $100 a night, right? So then they go, oh, okay, cool, right? So people are coming in the hotel. Some people might go, this is stupid. You got people in the hotel, but they're not even paying enough to cover their expenses, right? But when you have people in the hotel, you can get content of people in the hotel. People will then start to have good experiences. Then they'll leave and they go, we stayed at that hotel the weekend. It was amazing. Now, that feedback goes to other people. Then they tell their cousin, oh, I'm actually going there next week. I'll stay in that hotel. That's amazing. Then as the bookings start to come in, the hotel can start to increase prices. Even for the first 3 to 6 months, they can use that opportunity just to get the content from it. My first business events, even my first tours, lost money, but I needed to do the tours book out a venue for fucking 15 grand to have 60 people come for the night. Even though we lost 4 grand for the evening, I got to get pictures of the events to show people what was happening so that when the next tour came around, they were like, I want to come to it. So a hotel's pricing is only based on how many people want to stay in it. In the onset, you might have to lose money or be cheap to get people in there. The same with personal training. I don't care if you've got a strength and conditioning fucking qualification. If you are empty, you need to be cheap. You cannot be expensive and empty at the same time. So for anything you do, you have to be cheap at first. My business mentorship started at $800 US. Why? Because no one was in it. Then as I got busier, I could afford the luxury of having a higher price point. It goes with demand all the time. Bit like crypto and the watch market fell through the arse because when crypto dipped, everyone sold their watches. So demand is the real thing we need. There are 2 rules we need to think about. If you are full, you are too cheap. How do I know? Because by definition, you are fucking full. My barber said, oh mate, can't fit you in. And what do you mean you can't fit me in? He goes, oh mate, I'm fully booked. I go, well, you're too cheap. I go, put your prices up by $5. He puts his price up by $5. I think he lost 2 clients. But he's doing like 100 haircuts a week. So he's making $500 more, minus 2 clients, he's making $490 more. I said, now every time you've got an empty chair in front of you, do a little edit. He's full again, put your prices up. I just keep telling my barber to increase his prices because ultimately, I actually want my barber to be 80% full. Why? Because even though I pay more for a haircut, there's now more availability for me to get a slot at different times. So if you are full, you're too cheap because you're full. You can't take on any more people. Then you put your prices up and eventually you won't be full and you'll have spare time. And if you're not full, you're not marketing hard enough. You should live in balance between those 2 things. You're either full or you need to market. Never a difference in between that. Okay, we're going to quickly dip into the questions for this. Let's have a little look. Kieran Shea, my content has improved so much in the last few months. How and when do I market, pay for sponsored ads? Right, paid posts can work, but you know what? In fitness, I've never cracked them. I've had over 125,000 people through my academy, never run paid ads for it. I think paid ads are also sold to you. These business mentors are like, we're going to teach you paid ads. It's a competitive landscape. Even for the business mentorship, there's a lad called Connor who is full-time. His job is ads, ads, ads. You will not boost posts and compete in this market. And also, I actually sometimes think it's easier to get views organically than it is to do paid ads. I know so many people that have made it to millions of dollars a year without ever running paid ads. Paid ads can seem like the distraction. They can seem like, oh, if you just get to a point, you can do paid ads. I would like to go through life thinking I don't need to use paid ads. And especially if you're in fitness, it is very, very difficult. Despite what anyone's telling you, despite the dream that people are telling you, paid ads is fucked, especially on small margins. I think if you had 100K to put into paid ads, I'd maybe just build yourself a content studio, get an editor and go ham on creating as much content as you can. Because you can control the level of content you put out. You cannot control ads as well as people think. Daniel O'Sullivan, I'm a PT coach for 10 years. I only have a Facebook account with 900 followers. When I post a video, it only gets 5 likes. Any advice? If you're making a piece of content for one platform, why the fuck is it not everywhere? Why is it just on Facebook? Why is it not on Instagram? Why is it not on TikTok? Why is it not on YouTube Shorts? This is just indicative of lack of effort. If you can't even be bothered to post the same piece of content to different places, you deserve fucking 5 likes. I'm sorry, but you do. Every single piece of content is a digital asset ready for the internet, and you pay that asset into different places. If I give you a bag of seeds and you planted 1 seed in one part of the garden, you deserve to have a shitty shrub come through. I want you to be spreading the seeds in all different parts because there's going to be one part of fucking soil that's just got elite fucking dead dinosaurs in it, and the nutrients going to make a massive tree somewhere in your garden. And people go, James, why is my YouTube doing better than... I don't know. Oh, James, I don't know. But I don't care. If you're getting more views on one platform than somewhere else, great. But yeah, you've been doing this 10 years. You've only got 900 followers. Bro, imagine if I said to you, I've been training in the gym for 10 years. I've never made any meaningful results. You'd give me a fucking TED talk. Oh, come on, mate. You need to put the effort in. You'd be like, look, structure, discipline, consistency. You're a PT. You'd give me the NORS level 10,000 chat. You'd be like, come on, mate. We're going to structure out a plan. You follow the plan. You don't take your own fucking advice. That's what I'm saying, bro. At the end of the day, I guarantee you're probably one of the biggest hypocrites ever, right? The people you work with, you literally give them a formula for success to follow, but you don't have one yourself. The fact 900 followers in 10 years, it's not too late to change this round, but I guarantee you've not been putting your priorities in the right place. And you becoming a better digital marketer and business person, I think will make your clients get better results too. Nima, started my list in June, 200 people now. 5 months later, I have my first 2 sales now. They're on my list for 5 months. Why does it take so long? People just need time. They need time. They want to watch your journey. They need to be able to trust you. Look, some people on this live are going to buy my mentorship with the link in the description with that heinously cheap price. They might have followed me for 4 years. But rather than getting caught up about it, this is the game. And there should be something sweet, Nima. Imagine this. When you later on give yourself a little pat on the back because you just fucking worked for 5 months to win over a lead. And in 5 months' time, one email is going to get you 10 clients. And in a year and a half, when your friends think you're fucking crazy, you're going to send out an email one day and make 10 grand. But it's only through eating shit. That's the period you're in, I'm afraid, Nima. You're in the eating shit period. And I ate shit for so many years. Luckily now I can barely remember it. I can't even remember the taste of shit because I've been at this for so long. But I revel in the fact I wrote emails for 10 months before someone bought. 10 months of email marketing emails. No one bought. If you'd met me in my first 2 years of what I did, you would have thought I was fucking insane. I was sat in Waitrose, writing emails to people that weren't buying, putting out content to the fucking internet to people that were just double tapping it. You keep eating shit. It's the layer cake. The layer cake, you just got to keep climbing. Musa, have a full-time job. But I did get a client from referral to build them a web app. So I want to get more clients since that one was a friend of a friend. Sounds to me like you've got no marketing in place. If you've got a full-time job, mate, you need to really strategize this out. How many web pages do you need to build for how many people at what price point to be better off? And also, there's a sleep consultant that I'm working with at the moment. And she's doing all this marketing to get a 1 hour call with someone and that's it. She actually needs to get people on a bit more of a retention business where she talks to them a bit more. If you're going to build a web app for people, you need to get your numbers right. Is it 5 clients you need to work with a week and 2 new clients a month? You need to start mapping out what the life looks like. You need to go all in. Again, there are so many people that look at all of this and they wonder why people are doing better. I do this shit full time. You will never be better than me doing this, what we're doing right now, with a fucking side job because I live and breathe this shit all day, every day. I don't even see my friends. And if we were a professional team, we're going to beat every single semi-professional team. Semi-pro teams never beat professional teams because professional teams live, breathe the sport. Semi-pro have to be 2 different people, and there's no way you can get that energy across 2 different domains. So, right, we're just going to quickly talk about user behavior, and this is going to help your short-form content. So, I want you guys, next time you're in bed, to watch your partner or watch yourself as you scroll on social media. I want you to have a little binge fest later on Instagram Reels, whatever it is, and as you're swiping away, I want you to look at how much time do you give people before you scroll past. You guys, I can tell on Hinge whether or not I wanted to sleep with someone in like half a second, right? So you guys don't even give that. It's like boom, 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 boom. The first 3 seconds of your content is so much more important. And I'll be honest, this is something that I don't tell many people. When I'm in the Discord and I'm critiquing people's content, if the first 15 seconds is shit, I'll go report back. And sometimes they go, yeah, but what about the rest of the reel? What do you mean, what about the rest of the reel? You fucking murdered the hook. No one's there, brother. They're like, yeah, but how was the rest of it? It doesn't matter, they're gone. If you butcher the first hour of a film, don't worry about the ending. No one made it there. So the first part of content is so much more important. If you've got 10 hours to do a 10-minute YouTube edit, allocate 4 hours to the first minute. Because if you do not respect the initial part of the content, you will lose everyone. The first 3 seconds is 10 times more important than you think. Again, no one likes you. If you labor the point, if you don't cut out the pauses, if you breathe, if you make noises, if you have chewing noises, people will leave. Nobody likes you. Again, even leaving a half-second pause before you start would annoy me. If someone got in a video and went, today, gone, you're gone, I don't like you. Your lighting's not good enough, you're gone. If your audio's shit, you're gone. If I hear the rustle of your jacket on the mic, you're gone. People do not like you. You have 3 seconds to impress. You got to get in there. You got to give them all the information they need. That's why we need hooks. They are already wanting to move on. People's finger is already ready to fucking flick away, and you need to stop that. You need to become a master of that. Statement hooks, question hooks, counterintuitive hooks. You need to also watch people in other content that does really well. Why did that piece of content do well? Anything with over 100,000 likes, think to yourself, why did this video do well? Another thing, don't optimize for algorithms, optimize for humans. Algorithms are pretty much all of the data that we get from watching humans. If you want something, for instance, right? When you're next making a piece of content, chop some fruit. In your hook, cut into a bit of pineapple as you're saying your hook. Humans will be trying to decipher what's happening, not the algorithm, humans. They'll go, I'm listening, but I'm also watching someone chop a pineapple. And then as you're doing that, they're kind of waiting for how those two worlds come together. It'll improve your retention. Also, if you can find something that you can do that puts you in a flow state, for instance, chopping fruit, it also just calms you down and gives you certain like aura. Try things out. It's very interesting content. The way you bring yourself into shot, the way you might move the phone, the way you do scene changes, the way you pose questions, the way so much of what you can do, you can learn from other people, but you have less than 3 seconds. So another thing that I want you to do as kind of homework from today is I want you to go to your favorite creators on YouTube and go back to their very first videos. Something you need to realize is back in the day, my content was so unbelievably shit. Someone messaged me the other day, goes, hey mate, I went back to your videos from 3-4 years ago. I couldn't believe how shit they were. It was really inspiring. 100% do that. Even Chris Williamson's first podcast, both the guests didn't even have a mic. There was a mic just in the middle of the table. They're just talking at it from different sides. Go look at Chris's earliest podcasts. They're shit. It's so good. Joe Rogan back in the day using a webcam. Like so many people, if you go back to the onset and the beginning of their journeys, their content is honestly awful. And by looking at that, I did a video about Dr. Julie Smith. Her content used to be terrible, but she just turned up, did the reps and got better. One of those things that you really need to get into. All right, we're going to go into some questions for here. All right. Oh, Adam MC192. I actually really like your content, mate. You're a bit of a killer on YouTube. I've just seen yours, so this didn't even come from Luke. Do you recommend a pay-on results guarantee? I refund you if you don't reach your fat loss goal. Not really, because that screams to me that loads of people don't reach their fat loss goals. I would instead say, if you're unhappy with the level of service or I don't deliver on my promises, the reason I say this is this. And Adam, I'm sure you're aware of this, right? I've had so many clients over the year that come to me for fat loss, but they just say they want fat loss. That's not actually what they want. Susan Green, my favorite ever client, said she wanted to lose weight. 4 months in, I sat down with her and I was like, you've not lost any weight. And she goes, James, to be honest, coming in and training with you means that I don't drink in the evening before. She goes, I'm drinking so much less alcohol, I feel so much better about it. Her being honest with me, I said, all right, Susan, instead of doing 3 sessions a week, why didn't you come and see me for half an hour every morning? So we did 9 a.m. till 9:30 every morning. She'd do her own warm up, whatever. That meant Monday to Friday, I now stopped my client from drinking alcohol because she knew she'd see me the next day and she knew I could smell it on her if she had. Or she'd come in and she'd go, oh, I had a bottle of wine last night, whatever. So many people come to you for fat loss and they get so much more from it. They get so much more than they expected. So I wouldn't say if you don't get your fat loss results, because some people can start training with you and actually after 2-3 months, they might go, I don't even care about fat loss. I just want to feel good. And through training and feeling like I'm progressing and getting stronger, I'm actually getting what they wanted was to be happy. And happiness and fat loss rarely correlate as strong as other people think. So what I would say to that is the guarantee, put it on their happiness because that's what they want. Okay, quickly we're going to look into reframing, and this is one of the easiest hacks that you can put into your content to do better. So remember we said no one cares about you. They might still care about your story. So if you're going to do a video on I lost 4 kilograms in 4 weeks, make it how you can lose 4 kilograms in 4 weeks. So if I've just lost 4 kg in 4 weeks, I don't go, hey guys, I've lost 4 kilograms in 4 weeks, come along for the journey. You go, imagine if it was possible that you could lose 4 kilograms in 4 weeks without having to even give up food. To prove how easy this is, I just went on a little experiment. I'm going to share with you how you can do it too. Framing. Rather than me going, how I grew my business mentorship to a $2 million a year business, I go, I'm going to teach you how you can grow your business up to $2 million. I know this because I've proven it firsthand through operating my own business in the last year. Now, again, you might do a video, 20 things I wish I did differently starting a business. That could be 20 things you should consider doing differently before starting a business. Rather than me doing a video on how I grew my social media to 5 million followers, here's a strategy for how you can grow your followers to 0 to 5 million followers. Everything here, guys, is about solving people's problems. You want to know the biggest hack to making money? Solve problems. Biggest hack to personal brand? Solve problems. Everything here is about solving people's problems. And there's going to be a law of reciprocity to this. So let's imagine you've got a neighbor called Bob and you put his bins out every single week. 1 week, when you forget to put your bins out, you know Bob's going to put your bins out for you. Same way, if you keep turning up, keep solving people's problems. Even this right now is about solving your problems. If you do this for long enough, people will feel obliged to buy your Black Friday discount offer, the link in the description. Cool, we're going to look into a few more components, very, very important stuff. I'll get through as quick as I can. There is a certain amount of emails that you need to have $1 million database. I know this sounds cringy, right? For some of your businesses, it's 5,000. For some of your businesses, it's 100,000. But there is a finite amount of emails that you need to create $1 million. And it doesn't matter where that number is. You need to start moving. If it's 0, that's the only thing I will not accept. There is a certain amount of emails you need to get $1 million business. 20% of your audience should be your email list. If you don't have 20% of your audience on your email list, your focus is in the wrong place. That should be your golden rule. Where most people have stagnation in their business, they have stagnation of their email list. If you double your email list size, you will often double your business. This live stream, right? I managed to fix it, but I was doing one of these not too long ago and the connection just dropped out. The connection fucked up, lost connection to everyone. And all I did was follow up with an email. Sorry, the live stream cut out for whatever reason. Here's my offer. 10 grand, one email. Even a fucked up live stream was completely fine because I had everyone's email addresses. And you best believe that if you don't click the link in the description and get the offer, I'm going to email you guys afterwards anyway with the offer to make sure that you fucking buy it. So having the data first is such an important integral part to running a business. Now, I'm going to say this again. I've got some accolades behind. $20 million drinks brand, 3 #1 best-selling books, whatever. I'm either the luckiest person in the world or this shit works. And again, if you'd said, James, what's the single biggest component that's allowed you to do well? Emails. So we need to create something called a squeeze page. Now, lead magnet, squeeze page, I call it a squeeze page because it's going to squeeze people of their email address. Now, I have some that you see in the links in my YouTube, 30 days, 30 ways. I put people where I just give them 30 days of information. I'll explain why. There was a guy back in the day who, and again, I copied this, standing on the shoulders of giants. There's a guy from Northern Ireland and he said 50 ways in 50 days to improve your business. So I sign up. This guy emails me every single day for 50 days, telling me how to better my business. On the 52nd day, he tells me to buy his book. I didn't buy his book. He then adds me to a broadcast. Now, an automation is an automation. A broadcast is on top. And he broadcasts every day, and they're pretty good emails. But one day, he sends me an email drunk from his dad's funeral. And you can tell he's drunk from the email. Then at the end, it says, P.S. If you think it's inappropriate for me to sell to you off my dad's death, go fuck yourself. This is the best email I've ever read to this day, and I bought his book off the back of that. So I was inspired from that. I have a lead magnet for my fitness business. Also, there's another lead magnet squeeze page I have where if you ever see me do these videos where I critique people's social media, when people apply, I chuck them into the 30-day automation. Now, the beauty of that is, for some reason, people that apply for a roast, when we add them to the 30-day funnel, we get double the attribution of sales. Why? No idea. And I think it's quite good as a business owner to tell you that. There would have been a squeeze page where you guys signed up for this event. That was actually a squeeze page. So we had organic and a little bit of paid, but I can do paid because my margins are lovely. So because of that, the funnel was social media, organic, paid, squeeze page, get your email, send you the link for this live stream, then present to you, give you the offer afterwards. Now, autoresponders, I've said this a few times. Autoresponders are email automations that we can set up. Some of you, when it comes to having a lead magnet, might not have a good one. So for instance, this is one of my highest converting lead magnets where I realized there was a problem. The problem was people were making shitty landing pages. So I was like, I'm not going to be like, build a better business lead magnet. I instead was like, cool, here is a template of how to build a highly converted landing page. So I created this, I printed out the asset, and I send people this, and I give them some more nuance, but then I have 11 emails that follow up with them. And it's those automated emails afterwards that actually bag the sales. So even some of you, if you don't have a physical product or offering to give to people, you can just create an automation that has the value. When people get an asset, automation. When people join your trial, automation. Automated emails can be as long as you want. You can set up as many autoresponders as possible. I once thought about writing email marketing emails for a year and then retiring. So when anyone joined my email list, all the emails were pre-done. But I still think people need a little bit more than that. With those automations, maybe give them a bit of breathing room for the first 2 days, then sell every day. In sales, buy or die. At the end of the day, you can't be too pushy in an email as long as it contains value of entertainment or humor or whatever. So autoresponders, fantastic way, because some people go, I send one email a week. I'm like, motherfucker. One email a week is lazy as shit. When you buy it or you consider getting an 8 sleep, they email you every single day. And that's what I want, right? Imagine you join my lead magnet and I email you once a week. Cool. But imagine you join my lead magnet and then I email you every day for the next 30 days. In 22 days' time, you have 1 day, you lose 3 clients, I hit you by email. The same way, I want you in people's email fucking inboxes when a button pops on their jeans when they sit down at work. I want you to be in there when a dude gets dumped by his missus who was too hot for him. You need to be there every single day to turn up for these people. It is unacceptable to email less than daily, in my opinion. 5 emails a week minimum, maybe have weekends off. Now, you motherfuckers also need to get domains. My mate Paul Alima launched a B2B course at the weekend and he fucking had a support email from a Gmail. I messaged him straight away and I went, mate, nah. You cannot be operating a business from a Gmail, a Yahoo, or an Outlook account. Why? Imagine I'm getting married and I get recommended a fucking wedding videographer and it was johncamerawedding@gmail.com. Not getting the business. He's just not. Because it screams to me you're part-time. If you couldn't buy a domain for fucking $12, I don't trust you. You should not be sending emails from Gmail. I get cold emails all the time. If they come from a Gmail, block straight away. How big and long should it be? That's what she said. For an email, I reckon no more than 3 minutes. If you can't read it in 3 minutes, it's a fucking novel. Belongs on Substack. That's what it's called. Okay, there's a guy called Jerry Seinfeld, comedian, writer back in the day. Not sure if you guys know this, but I thought I'd remind you. He made a promise to himself that every day he'd spend 2 days in a room on his own. No phone, no laptop, nothing. Just for ideation. And he never ever said that he had to come up with content. He just had to do the 2 hours. So if Jerry Seinfeld was going to sit in a room for 2 hours, distraction free to come up with material, you guys can spend 5, 10 minutes, even if it's when you next go for a drive. No music, no podcast, no YouTube. Shouldn't be YouTubing when driving anyway. But next time you go for a drive, just spend that half an hour thinking of ideas. If Jerry Seinfeld could sit in a room for 2 fucking hours, you can start allocating some time to get creative. If you don't have a good lead magnet, go sit in a field until you do. All right, let's get some questions before we get into the landing page. Debacle. Okay. Lewis Voss, I work in a private gym. Working the floor isn't really an option. What's the best way I can go about getting more clients? Working the floor, okay, cool. Online would be your only way to do it, really, which is going to take a long time. You've opted to work in a place where there's just not thousands of prospects. Fitness First has many things wrong with it, but you have an abundance of prospects there. If I was to say, Lewis, what is your social size and email size, that would probably give us the problem there. So yeah, you are months away from getting your first online client if you do it right. Aragork, regarding full-time, part-time, I have a corporate job in another industry, but want to diversify to help dads with their fitness journey. Would your course assist with the diversifying? Yeah, but why help dads? Why? I think that's too niche, bro. It's too niche. Like, dads are what? A third of the adult population? Bro, if you're a dad, you have a partner, even if you're divorced, and you have a child. You have 2 things in life that are fucking incredible. Do you know what cohort of men need you? People that are single and people that are childless. To me, everything boils down to pain points, right? The people that buy my Black Friday offer are the ones right now who are struggling. It's people that need fucking help, not people cruising on 100K a month. You want to work with dads? I don't care if I get fat, if I've got a beautiful partner who's understanding and I've got my son that I can hold at night. If you want to go after men, go after the 28 or 32-year-old men who are single, fat, fucking losers, worried they're never going to meet someone of their dreams, and go turn that person's life around. Why you would go after dads is just moronic to me. Go after men that need to fucking revolutionize their life. There are men out there that need to stop drinking, they need to start working on themselves, and they need to increase the level of status they are so they can find a fucking mate. So, although you go, oh, I'm a dad, we'll help other dads. If you spent a bit of time with actual real people, helping a dad get jacked, cool, sweet. Helping a man improve his life, to find love, to end up having children. Men are much luckier in that regard. They can turn their life around at 40 and still be fine. So maybe that's something that I would say for that. If you're in a corporate job, it's safe, but eventually you're gonna have to make the leap. And every month and year you leave it, you are gonna run out of time and energy. You think, you know, being a dad, the older you're a dad, the less energy you have with your kids. But you got to decide what you want to do. Every year you're in the corporate world. And again, nothing wrong about having a corporate job. I miss not giving a fuck about stuff. But every corporate job is going to suck the maximum amount of energy and life out of you for the least amount of money. And you cannot change my life on that. They will. Elbad, I'm an in-person PT. It's a good idea to create a free email autoresponder lead magnet to give to members of the gym. Send them free advice, then use that to gain clients. Sure. But do not give free advice. No one woke up today wanting free advice. For instance, this isn't, hey, do you want some free advice for your landing page? Hi, do you want some tips? No one woke up wanting tips. Hey, do you want more fucking conversions from your sales page? Do you want to stop leaving money on the table? Because people do wake up going, I wish I didn't leave so much money on the fucking table. Because the pain point here is that when people use this, if their conversions go from 1% to 2%, they've doubled the amount of revenue for no extra energy. That's why that is a good lead magnet. So anyone want any tips? If you put your lead magnet on a sign and you went to the high street, would people stop you? If no, think more, do better. So yeah, you could put together like a squat university workshop. Maybe not squat university, it's a brand. You could call it like the squat mania, like something where it's like a fucking perfect your squat. Then every single person you see in a squat rack, you're like, hi, my name's Elbado3. Not to say there's anything wrong with your squat. Here's a little QR code on a business card. If you scan this, you're gonna learn how to get a perfect squat. Do this, honestly, the majority of people I've given it to have put 20 kilograms on their squat in 3 months, and it'll make sure you don't injure yourself. Feel free to use it, whatever. Nima, cool, busy today. Thoughts on running 2 YouTube channels at once because you have 2 things you want to talk about. Now, if you've got 2 businesses, cool. If you have 2 things you want to talk about, don't just have a YouTube channel because you want to talk about stuff. Let me remind you, the only time I'm on social media is when I want sales. I do not like talking about things. I do not like having to offload my son to his grandparents this morning to come do this. I like sales. I like money. I like that some of you are going to end up joining my mentorship. I do not talk on social media for it. You know, Hormozy and that, all these people that have sold for hundreds of millions, if we sell Newtonic for $100 million, you will never see me on social media again. If we sell for $1 billion, I will delete everything. I'll be gone. So don't create a YouTube just because you want to talk to people. Create a YouTube if there's a business need. And if there isn't a business need, save your energy. Train with Dev. That's got to go, that handle, mate. Train with Dev. Because I guarantee, right, no one is going, oh, you should check out Train with Dev. They'll go, Dev's my trainer. Fucking legend. Fucking legend. Meet Dev. Dev, meet John. John, Dev, Dev, join. Train with Dev. Nah. Because you are currently just for training now. There's no brand morphization that. Aaron Pease, what's a good starting point for an online coach in terms of price? Well, I'm not full. I currently ask for $300 a month, believe I'm worth it, but struggling to get clients. Shall I lower this? You're probably too expensive. Now, I would say take your hourly rate and charge a week for the hour. So let's say you charge £45 a month. First of all, I would offer people weekly. Because when people think about PT, they often think about a weekly, right? They don't think about monthly because £300 a month, if you want to do monthly pricing, people are going to compare it to their mortgage. They're going to go, £300 a month for PT? Mate, my mortgage is only $800. What, you want me to pay half my mortgage for a PT? Fuck off. But if you said it's £45 a week and you offered weekly pricing, some woman comes home and goes, John, I'm thinking of getting a PT again. Oh yeah? How much? £45 a week. Oh yeah, and it's all online. Oh, that's good. So the pricing side of things, what's that? 45, 99, 180, let's say. Then when you want to increase prices, when you're full, you go from 45 a week to 50 a week. Then also by putting up your prices by just £5 versus 20, it seems a lot more sensible and in line with inflation or whatever you want to call it. So if you're currently asking for $300 a month, I guarantee you're just doing it because that's what everyone else does. But if you're struggling to get clients, you're too expensive. And you should have a weekly offer and it should be in line with your hourly rate. Now, the first week you have with the client, you'll probably have to spend an hour or more onboarding them and doing everything. But as time goes on and you retain clients, the amount of time you spend with them is less and less. Some clients will service in 6 minutes, so you still get £45. Lewis Voss, would you offer free sessions and then convert to paid in the onset of a PT business? I would give people a free session and then I would sit down with them and pitch. I hope you enjoyed that. That was just a showcase of my training style. This is how I'd get you to go through your goals. This is how much it costs. If at any point in your first month of training me, you don't love it, I also have a PT starter kit, by the way. Zafir Sheikh, how do I offer a money back guarantee on a medical consultation considering I won't solve 100% of patients' problems? If you're not happy with the consultation, I'll give you a full refund. Yeah, and mate, if I said to you that only 1% of people asked for a refund and it got you twice as many bookings, would you do it? If so, do it. Ria Coles, I've been working with a marketing agency for about 6 weeks who are handling my social media. My views have grown massively. Just wondering, should I content differ across different platforms? All right, this marketing agency could be great, right? Probably not across different platforms, as it's long form or short form. But by offloading shit to a marketing agency, I guarantee they're bumming you dry as well. I bet you're paying a lot of money for that. Do you not understand? You need to be getting good at this stuff. You could just get a marketing agency, but I need you to become the expert. I hired some people recently, I won't go into the details, but they were doing a subpar job and I could only spot it because I am a fucking weapon on YouTube. Now, if you have a marketing agency, they are going to slack in a department of your business. And if you do not learn these things, you will never know that. If you offload your thinking to someone else, you will get the thinking of someone else. Now, a good friend of mine hired someone on £40,000 a year, which is fine. And he offloaded a lot of his critical thinking to this person. And do you know what happened? His ideas became 40K a year ideas. If you leave your ideation, your creativity, and your marketing to someone on a salary, You will never get ideas better than that salary. So you get an agency, you pay them 10 grand, you're only going to get 10 grand's worth of, business. When you pay me, you're paying me to make you better, right? You're paying me to level up your own understanding of all of these things. Because do you know why my businesses do well? Because I am a good marketer and I've learned to become a good marketer and I learn good marketing. And the better I get at marketing, the better I spot it everywhere else. I am a fucking nightmare in Newtonic headquarters because I am such a good fucking marketer that when we hire people to do our marketing, I can spot the fucking holes in it straight away. Now, the big issue is if you do not learn all of these things, you will hire people and they'll take you for a fucking ride. Muavi Arif, where should you start as a beginner? No email marketing, no landing page, just Insta PT page. Start with a squeeze page. Like if you get one email address in the next week, it's progress. Dan Devonside, how many hours of one-to-one experience should you get before you start online coaching? So many fuckers jumping the gun, going straight online with zero experience. They will never survive. They'll never do that well, which is good. I would say at least 1,000 to 2,000 hours. And then even if you get in there early, just keep doing in person until you're ready to make the jump. It's very rare that you would go full-time online without that experience because people can spot it. And that's what you're paying me for. All these questions you're asking me, I know, because I've answered them 1,000 fucking times. Saro dog training. For dog training niche, do I bother with sales calls for my high ticket program? So my dog trainer sent me a well-written PDF with the pricing. It was $800 for the first few lessons. I was like, when I saw his prices, I thought, fuck me, he must be good. Booked. I don't think you need a sales call. I will help your dog do X, Y, Z or your money back. Or I'll keep working with them until they do. Now, dog trainers, so many of you online are trying to put out content that impresses other dog trainers. Stop. Start talking to your prospect. Hooks. Do you want your dog to walk off the lead? How do you get your dog to come back when you call its name? Even the term recall, don't use it. Just speak to them like normal fucking human beings. If you want your dog to come back when you call its name, try these 3 things. Why not to give your dog a treat on a walk? Why your dog behaves in the house but not overseas? How can you prevent your dog from getting an incident with other dogs? Should you? All of these things. There are so many important aspects to dog training that people miss out on. And do you know what? Here's one for you. This is a funny one. One weekend, I had my son for 48 hours on my own. And a dog trainer joined the mentorship. And he had a Kelpie. I've got a Kelpie. And he asked a couple of questions on a Friday night. And I couldn't get back to him because I had my son. And I got back the next day. And I could see he was a bit arsey about it. I just refunded him. I refunded the guy, whatever. And the next day, I emailed him. And I go, bro, if you'd just been a bit more chill, I could have helped you so much. Because I have been through the hurdles of hiring a dog trainer. I've had shit dog trainers, I've had good dog trainers. I know so much about what people with a dog want. And being a dog trainer, you have you forget what it's like to call your dog and it doesn't come back. So you need to really, really get yourself down to the level of your clients and the people you work with. Some people just want their dog to look at them when they say the name. They don't want their dog to jump over hurdles and go through fences and do all of this fucking shit. They just want the basic stuff. And if you can say, I will get your dog to come back to you 9 times out of 10 when you call its name, or I'll give you your money back. This is the thing, right? My dog never even achieved half the stuff I wanted him to, but the halfway point, I'm happy. I'm happy. My dog doesn't do half the shit that I wanted him to, but he now sits before crossing the road so he doesn't get hit by a bus. Out of all the money I've spent on dog training, thousands of dollars, the fact that my dog now sits before the fucking busy road, worth every penny. So even the guarantee that I got from my dog trainer, it doesn't matter. We got half of the way I wanted to and I'm happy. So as long as you can help people be happy, that's it. He's a fucking bastard though, because he then runs down to the beach. Sophie Waddington, can a free community be a lead? No. So, free communities, who's managing that? You. This is how it should be, right? No one should get anything for free. Maybe a live stream like this, where you got a link in the description. But you might go, but James, you've got one of the biggest TRT groups for men in the world. Yes, after they bought a blood test. The only way they're getting any interaction is after they bought something. If you want a free community, why have all these people chatting within each other? How about this? How about you grow a fucking email list and your community is 1,000 people on an email list, and how about you send those people a fucking offer every day with a really cleverly written email? Musa, is the mentorship only available for coaches? No, I've got accountancy firms, got marketing firms, got people in B2B. I've got lads that run an ayahuasca business. I've got big YouTubers. I've everything. Because this is the thing people don't want to understand, right, Musa? Every single business has the same problems. Every single one, across all of it. Across all of them. It actually doesn't matter what you sell. Marketing, right, for instance, When I make you better at marketing, it's going to improve your ability to get laid. Now, getting sales for a business online and fucking someone can seem so disconnected, but it's exactly the same. You talk to a certain amount of people, you get a certain amount of numbers. Out of a certain amount of numbers, you convert into a certain amount of dates. A certain amount of dates, a certain amount of people are going to put out. That's it. Now, you might go sales and fucking is different. It's not. Because really what you're looking for is to win over a client. And really what you're looking for is to get laid. Now, not in all cases. Sometimes you get a single transaction, but sometimes that transaction is so good you want that transaction again. And you go into the renewals process. Now, the renewals process is a relationship. So renewals in business, relationship. Now, that renewals process will keep going until one side of the party lets down its agreement. Then you'll go back to tender and look for new partners. So marketing, fucking, all of these things are the same. All of them are the same. Now, you might go, it doesn't apply to my business. I fucking doubt it. Because it's all the same marketing. Social media, get people attention, bring them away, put them into email marketing, maybe even SMS. Send them an offer on a daily basis until they feel compelled to agree to that offer. Give them a menu, let them read the menu, let them buy. When they buy, retain them. Unhappy customers, get a refund. Happy customers, grow your business. Ria Coles, just to clarify, regarding the marketing agency, I don't pay a lot, they're based in India. Enables me to have way more time to focus instead of my actual daily business instead of creating posts daily. Okay, I like that. Time to focus on my actual business instead of creating posts daily. There is part of me that goes, maybe someone else could run the business, you could create more posts daily, but most marketing agents, so we've hired several for our coaching app, and they've all just been fucking wastes of time. And they audit your business to give you the money. Have you tried this? Yes. Kamala B, currently going through a PT course, thinking to start making content based on my body transformation and what I learned so far. Should I be joining? You could, but remember what I've said. No one cares about your body and your transformation unless the lesson's for them. So as a PT, I can't stress this enough. No one gives a fuck about your lunch. No one gives a fuck about your workout. No one gives a fuck about your transformation. Any PT can get in shape for clients. What they care about is their problems. So when you get into the industry, stop taking pictures of your lunch. Instead, focus on other people's problems. Okay, we're going to quickly go through a landing page. I did tease you before. You're naughty, you're teasing me. So landing page, rather than you having to download this asset, let's get into it. A landing page is where you go to try and get someone to buy your stuff. Squeeze page, email, landing page is where we want to get a sale. We have the VSL at the top. Now, on top of the VSL, that video, we want to have a heading. The heading should be a promise, an outcome that you can understand. Give up smoking without cravings. Whatever it is, make more money online without DMing strangers. The subheading could be like, create a strategy that automates sales whilst you go to bed. Learn how to give up smoking without suffering with all the cravings that come through. There's your VSL right there. Now, this bit here should all be above the fold. Above the fold. So many people put branding up here massively. You can have a tiny bit of branding, but not too much. If you have too much branding here, then half your VSL is in there above the fold. I do not want anything like that because so many people are going to bounce before they even scroll down. They're having a little look at your landing page. So we want it to be, the flow is this way, right? What it is the first thing we want to talk about. What is it? Is it a coaching program? Is it a mentorship? Is it a system? Is it an ebook? Is it whatever it is? What it is, what they get. What do they get from what it is? Then why they need it. What it is, what they get, why they need it. So let's do it for this business mentorship. What is it? I've created a community of businesses that want to grow through sharing information with each other and having me critique their content, the landing pages, and have valuable coaches in an ecosystem. What they get, you get loads of different courses from what to put on your Instagram bio, how to create better short form content, how to create a YouTube channel, how to run a business, all of these things. That's what they get. You also get a Discord where you can communicate with me and other members, pose questions, even little things like some people will come into the Discord, hey, anyone else using Everfit, is it good? Then someone else goes, I used it, now I use this. Oh, great, how much does it cost? Those things talking to each other is a massive benefit. Why they need it? Well, most of you are trying to do this on your own. It's very lonely running a business. I know this because none of my friends are making as much money as me, so I'm at the racetrack on my own. None of my friends can afford Porsches. Very, very lonely. So sometimes you need people at the same level as you so that you can bump ideas. Hey guys, thinking of doing this for a lead magnet. Someone else goes, I actually tried that, I bombed until I did this. So this is another thing. Not only is it the information that I give people, it's all the information they get from other people. Why they need it? Because you're lonely, you need to float ideas. Imagine this. Yesterday, someone says, hi James, I've got 3 lead magnets, not sure which one to go with. I go, does one perform better than the others? Yeah, this one dominates by far. Just focus on that one. Thanks, mate. Another person, why did this video not do well? Hey mate, you paid off too early. Next time, do this, then pay it off. Great. Another video, can anyone help me with this title and thumbnail? Give them 3 variations on it. It's actually, do you know, some people only get 10 minutes of my time a month, and it can just give them that little bit of feedback they need. Sometimes you just need people with a little bit more experience. How much it costs? I think it's like $2,000 US, which hopefully next year, I'll be honest with you, I'm working towards making my mentorship a $6,000 product. And I'm probably gonna have to hire some more staff and get some more demand. But, you know, considering I've got 50,000 YouTube subs in 2 years, I'm doing about $2 million US a year with it at the moment. I think 2K is pretty fucking good value. And why to believe me? Why to believe me is this fucking live stream. So the flow of my VSL, what it is, James Smith Business Mentorship, what they get, the Discord, all of the courses and future access, it's a lifetime membership. Not like those fucking mentorships that do you dirty and keep charging you on a monthly rate. Why they need it? Access to me, access to community. How much it costs? $2,000 US. Why to believe you? Because I just spoke to you for fucking 2.25 hours without taking a piss break just to get you fucking across how good this is. How to pay, there's a link on there. Now, there are different pages and platforms you can use. I do love one that's called Lead Pages. The reason I like Lead Pages is that you get the analytics from it. And also, some of you may not realize, when you have a landing page like this, you will get a certain conversion rate, let's say 3%. Then you go dark mode, you make it dark, you make the text light. Suddenly you're at 3.2%. You go, oh, dark mode works better. Then you change your heading. And on landing pages, you can create 4, 5 variations of the exact same page and just make little tweaks to it, and then you can look at the analytics. And the good thing is you just share one link with everyone, and that one link that you share with everyone, they then split the traffic across it. So it helps you become analytical. On YouTube at the moment, we can test 3 thumbnails, 3 titles. Why? Because we need to know which one works better. So sometimes we need to A/B split test stuff. And this isn't something for a marketing agency, there's something for you. Your title might be fat loss, your title might be muscle growth. You might find you get more sales from talking about fat loss. These things that you learn across your business over time massively impact your business over time. Again, if you can take your conversions up by making your font bigger, suddenly your font is bigger on every page. If dark mode converts better for you, dark mode on every page. So by A/B split testing, and again, increasing your conversions on your landing page is such an important thing because same traffic, same posts, same emails, all of the stuff above this remains the same. The only thing that changes is how many people buy. Again, dark mode for me works better. Fonts, always make it a little bit too easy to read. Make sure that your text isn't too small. So we've gone through content, we've gone through landing pages, we've gone through squeeze pages. To close up, we're now going to get into the questions, the last few ones. We're going to probably go for another 15 minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up, and you guys are going to buy my business mentorship. Because we've got about 42 slots for the rest of the year. Then after that, we're shutting the doors, brother. Okay, El Camino de Santiago. How can I sell without selling my online coaching service? How can I sell without selling my online coaching service? I have 20,000 followers, but not getting much engagement to get coaching. Golden rule, never sell on social media. We've got so many coaches that put a link in their bio and wonder why people aren't queuing up at the door for them. Again, it's really important that you guys do utilize email marketing and all of the things that I'm saying because people just do not buy from social media. How many of you have actually bought something from your phone, walk into the shops? We need to get people on social media, get their email addresses, and we actually need them at desktop, similar to what I'm now. When I pay off my credit card at my desktop, when I buy things at my desktop, when I'm paying off people's fucking, invoices that come to me, it's at my desktop. Getting people from their mobile and putting them into a place where they can genuinely action the point that we want, really important. Steve Moore Golf, do before and afters work for promoting your training? It's not before and afters that work, it's transformations. The point of this, right? I worked with a bathroom company recently. They do like tiling for bathrooms. Their content, their page, the Instagram was just full of people's bathrooms they're done. They never showed the bathroom before. Now, you show someone the bathroom before, then after. It's a journey, it's a story. Here's the bathroom before, here's it after. Now, no one cares about that bathroom, but do you know what they care about? Their bathroom. Do you know what they care about? Their kitchen. Do you know what they care about? Their own journey. So when you show it before and after, people don't care about the other person before and after. But if you can tell it in a story, if you can tell it in a transformation, people want the transformation. When you show off a fat loss client, they don't give a fuck about the fat loss client. They care about the transformation that person had. They are buying into that transformation. So it's not just the before and after. Steve Moore, I need you to find someone. I need to transform a part of their game, their short game, their long game, their drive, whatever it is. And by transforming that part of their game, other people that want the same transformation will also buy in. Jack the Ninja, would paid ads be worth the return on investment early on in launching a personal brand? From getting the initial followers up, no, I just don't. I want to discover someone I don't want a paid ad. I don't follow people from paid ads. Bro, what you're doing here is you're looking for a way around the hard work. You're looking for a way to buy your way through eating shit, and I cannot advise against it enough. Kind of like putting accelerant on the fire. If it's early, you do not have a fire to throw accelerant on. Grow, you got to grow, bro. And organic, in so many ways, is easier. So many ways. Because you have to become a certain level of good to grow organically. You can throw money at anything, but you're so much better off becoming a weapon, organic, and then adding paid ads. You cannot use paid ads to buy your way through the beginning. Launching my second book next week on a pre-sale landing page. Any advice on that? Your sales will be correlated with how many signups you get. Build my brand around my name, Cy Bakes, or my brand, Transformed Mindset. Definitely your name. Transformed Mindset. Come on. That's not a good brand. Cy Bakes is fine. Jayesh, what do you recommend as a strategy to turn gym class attendees into clients? I get great feedback from my classes, thinking a low-cost group program starting Jan. No. Mate, why do they do gym classes? They don't want personal training. This is why gym classes is such a stupid thing to do for leads. Some people might, but most people do gym classes because they've got no interest in personal training. They can't afford it, so they do gym classes. All the people that can afford PT or want PT aren't going to go to a group class. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Okay. It's like opening a butcher's for vegetarians. I just don't see it working. Thoughts on lead quizzes, or is it okay to use the landing page? I don't know what that is, but sure. Quizzes do work pretty well. I'm starting to experiment with Score app. I will report back on that to people in the mentorship when I know more. I help home bakers bake and decorate cakes using an easy, simple method, saving time, struggling to fill my in-person classes, launching my online course soon. Is your mentorship for me? Yes, because I think you should be on YouTube. I think that if you crack YouTube, you will dominate in this baking cake industry. Lucy Lord, right? She does my fucking head in as one of my best friends because she will refuse to go on YouTube. My missus watches Andy Cooks on YouTube. Sometimes I think she spends more time in front of him than me. I cannot explain this enough. Things like that do so well on YouTube because people that are interested in baking cakes, YouTube will float that in front of them because YouTube understands what people watch on YouTube. When you make a video about baking or cooking, it will get put in front of people that like baking and cooking. When it comes to online plans, should I stick to 12-week transformations or offer the online coaching on a monthly basis? Offer both to see what goes down best. Before I buy, I'd like to explain my situation, see if you believe I'm ready for your course, or do you suggest a few more things to upgrade my knowledge, social media before your course? Can I email you? No. Aragork, it's on the landing page. You click on the offer, you read the landing page. You get one of two decisions. You think it's right or don't. Again, I'm sorry, I'm not here to bend over backwards to make you buy my shit. If you don't feel compelled to join after me just giving you 2.5 hours, I can't fucking help you. I'm sorry, but I'm just not going to do that. So please don't email me. Like, I'm here for 2.5 hours showcasing all of my expertise. I'm answering all those questions. I'm taking time away from my son. If I haven't done enough at this point and given you a fucking discount to join, then fuck off. I'm sorry, in the nicest possible way. I would be going against everything that I said. I did not come here to beg for your fucking business. I came here to prove that I know what the fuck I'm on about. The majority of people in this industry haven't got a fucking clue. There are 42 spaces that I started at the beginning of this call. As soon as I finish them, I'm shutting shop. I'm not here to convince you. I convince you in my work, not my emails. Again, if I didn't make that clear enough on this live stream, I'm sorry. How can someone with a technician, electrician, plumber profession get into online sales? I'm not sure would be the answer to that. I run a sports marketing agency helping footballers land paid contracts in Australia. Would your mentorship be suitable for me? Same question as goes before, I'm afraid. I think at this point, 2 hours 20, I've loved doing this. I'm going to go back to my son. There's an offer in the description. It's fucking too cheap for what you get, if anything. I'm pulling it the second we sell those 42 spaces. Thank you very much for coming in, tuning in. Nearly 1,000 of you guys for the remainder of the call. I hope that you got some information out of that. And to the top 2% of people in that pyramid attribution that end up buying my shit, I'll see you in the Discord a little bit later when my missus gets home and I've got a few days of Discord to catch up on. You guys have been fucking great. Thanks for tuning in. Buy my fucking shit or don't. See you later. Love you lots. Bye-bye.